Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Tuesday morning. Well, that was a heck of a weekend. The Aggies got the win they had to have over Memphis, and BYU got the win they had to have over Colorado, although they were stretched and pushed to overtime, and in the process, they ended up losing Richie Saunders with an ACL injury. He actually got hurt 45 seconds into the game. And clearly that is going to change the arc of BYU's season. I suppose good things could happen out of this, and somehow somebody could step up or several guys could step up and carry the load. But really, it's hard right now to see how BYU is going to be better than a 5 or a 6 seed, and it's hard to see them getting back to the Sweet 16. You know, the thing the committee tends to do at a time like this is when you lose a key player, assess how is the team after the loss of that key player. So to a large degree, I don't know how much anything's going to matter before this Colorado game. Now, they basically won that game without him because they only played 45 seconds. So it's like in the committee's mind, they're 1-0, and they got to play Arizona and Iowa State. Wow. Now, you get one of those, super impressive. But it's not a good defensive team, and now it's 2 scorers, and who can help out, and defenses will be loaded to focus on those 2 guys. It just doesn't look good right now. Now, having said that, we'll get to the Sweet 16, and I'm sure we'll look around and think, oh, wow, I didn't see that team getting there. I didn't see this team getting there. Maybe BYU can make themselves one of those teams, but suddenly everything is – I mean, it was already, the 4-game losing streak, losing 5 out of 6. I mean, hopes had taken a big hit this year, clearly. At the same time, this just doubles down on all of that. So we'll get to that coming up. We'll hear from the Cougars after their win. We're going to start, though, with Jerrod Calhoun, a strong performance by Utah State. It was a good game for about 15 minutes. Last 5 minutes of the first half, predictably, Memphis really not that good. Doing a good job of surviving in those first 15 minutes deep in the shot clock, but the air balls and the turnovers and the shot clock violations all caught up with them, especially the turnovers. Utah State started running, and it just got out of hand pretty quickly. Here's Jerrod Calhoun, head coach of the Aggies, after the win.
We talk about the Aggie tornado. It hit at the end of the first half, and when your guys get out in the open court, they can run and create turnovers. That separation was brought up, and frankly, Memphis was looking around like, what just happened to us?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of respect for Coach Hardaway and the Memphis program. The deck is stacked totally against mid-majors and mid-major pluses. Now with $10 and $20 million rosters. So I give him a ton of credit. It's hard to find really good non-conference games. So for him to come out on a one-day prep kind of shows you what kind of competitor he is. Adlin and Drake struggled tonight. So we went with the small ball lineup. And sure enough, those guys provided great energy and belief in that first half to end the first half. And then I thought, the last 9-10 minutes, we really imposed our will on these guys. But great win. Unfortunately, the way the rules are written, you gotta run people out of the gym. When you have a chance to score points, you have to. We're not sitting home on Selection Sunday saying, hey, we could have scored this basket or that basket. It is what it is. So I said we got to score every single time. It's a stupid system that we have, but it is what it is. We're not going to apologize.
No.
Perryman. Court vision, finding guys, right place, right time. Just talk about him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we needed him. Drake really struggled. Probably one of his worst games that I've seen him play. Just really, really struggled to stay out of foul trouble, Had 1 bad turnover, 2 bad turnovers, but the fouls where you got to be a little more disciplined. But that's why we're a good team. You know what I mean, Spence? That's why we have a good team. We got guys that can come in off the bench, Colby King, Perryman. I thought Carson Templin may have played his best game of his career. 10 for 10 from the foul line. Really, really understanding how to play. The 1-3 was ill-advised with 2:40 to go in the game. But you know what? He has earned that right to take that shot, and so's Zach Keller. Those guys are making them.
Did he earn that when he beat me in the
You're still thinking about that.
He's not letting that one go.
I have not said a word about Carson shooting threes since he did that. I lost all ability to say anything.
Hey,
but
in
honestly,
your prime, you you would have beat him.
Well,
Spence.
I'll tell you what. Honestly, him and Zach hitting those threes in the first half, like you guys were really struggling to score. A couple threes from them, hitting you shot it from the free throw line, but they were hard to score in the half court in the first half.
Yeah, I mean they're monstrous. That's a probably every bit of a $5 million roster. I think that's one of the assistants told me before the game. They got around 5. So you see Aaron Bradshaw, former Kentucky, Ohio State guy. I mean, they're monsters, So for us to impose our will, that's what we're going to see if we make the NCAA tournament, Spence. So I thought it was a really good game. We're going to see that against the Aztecs again. We're going to see that against UNLV. We're going to see it against Boise on Wednesday. They're monsters. I mean, they're 3, 4, and 5. They're bruisers. They're tough. So I thought this game would really get us ready for the final 6. We've got about 9 practices left. We've got about, we've got 6 games left. We're here. This is the final stretch. How tough we're going to be. Are we going to take care of the ball? We're going to rebound. We've got to overcome what happened to us last year. We talked about it the other day as a group. We lost 4 out of 6. We're not doing it. We got to guard. We got to rebound. And I think this group can do that. And I was pleased tonight with how hard we played. Our execution sometimes lacks, but there's never a game that I haven't seen great effort. And tonight was just another test to that.
Well, MJ Collins is your Mark McGuire. He's the microwave. I mean, it's either cold or it's scorching hot, and you saw both of those in this game.
We had a good meeting this week. He just got to relax, attack closeouts better, get to the rim better, make his open threes when he gets them. But really what he needs to focus on is his defense and his rebounding. Go get rebounds, attack closeouts, and get some runouts. When he's stealing the ball, him, Drake, and Mason on the perimeter, we have the best 3 perimeter guys in mid-major basketball that all play on the same team. Then you put Colby and EP in there. That's 5 guys that could create a lot of havoc. So I thought we did that for the most part. How many turnovers did they have?
Overall, 13, they had 12, but 12. You turned those into 21 points.
Yeah, our goal was 17, so we didn't hit that.
Speaking, that makes a lot of sense. You meeting with Drake or with MJ because he did attack the closeout tonight, right? Yeah. There were even a couple points where there was no closeout, and he still took it to the rim versus the 3-point. That was something that I hadn't seen from him, but it sounds like you spoke to him about it.
Yeah, and you know what the great thing about MJ is his father. His dad is really good. Drake Allen's dad is really good. They allow us to coach these kids. You see Gary Clark over there. His sister and mom and dad are in town. We have some of the best parents, and I think when you do this recruiting stuff long enough, you got to meet the parents, and you can get a good feel for what type of kid you're getting with what type of parents you have, and you see them all over there. I mean, it's packed with parents today, and the Templins and the Falslevs, just a lot of good people. But my message was to MJ, listen, man, he got mad the game before. I yelled at him. He took a quick 3, and he didn't like it, and he pouted a little bit. I said, that's the first time you've done that. I'm glad you did it because we both got to grow from it. I could have probably said something nicer to you at the time. And we've got a good relationship. So he bounced back today. Still didn't shoot the 3 great. I mean, he would have had a heck of a game. But I'm proud of him, and he'll keep growing.
Well, Coach, big one against Boise. Little time to enjoy this one as Boise's reeling a little bit from that UNLV. So you're going to have a
But they were playing great. Oh, yeah. I mean, they've won 7 of 9 now. They're really, really good. They're powerful on the front line. Fielders making threes. Buchanan's really good. Carmichael's good. So it's going to be a really, really electric atmosphere in here, and we only have 3 of them left. It's kind of sad.
It goes by quick.
Yeah, it stinks, man. Yeah. It really does because I love our seniors. I really do. Like Zach Keller's coming on, the last, 3-4 games. He's been unbelievable.
There's Jerrod Calhoun after Utah State blows out Memphis. And Memphis will not forget those 3 dunks in the final minute with the starters still in the game. Seems like he could have taken the foot off the gas there. But, hey, do whatever you got to do to get to the NCAA tournament. And, grudge matches and return games and rosters change so much. Welcome to the new world. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, David Locke talking NBA basketball and tanking. That is next. Stay with us. Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Friday, we had David Locke on the show to talk about tanking. Now, obviously, he mentions that Adam Silver, is going to talk about this over the weekend, and he did, of course, at his State of the Commissioner address as part of All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles. and basically said, they're going to double down on it. They got to stop. Everything's on the table. He's asked about taking away draft picks, and he closes the door on nothing. So the Jazz might be trying to tank at exactly the wrong time. We'll get to that coming up. But first, here's David Locke with PK and I on the Zone.
David, this week, we need your brain. We need your creativity. We need your forward-looking thoughts. Because we've had a lot of people complain about the Jazz getting fined, right? It's these two teams. Why isn't these other 2, 3, 4, 5 teams? We all know there's 6 or 7 teams tanking. And we've had people complain, hey, they're getting fined for games they've won. And we've been over all of this, right? And there's lots of frustrating inconsistencies and all that. However, we also know the Jazz got fined for tanking, and we also know they are tanking. And we know that this has been going on in the NBA for 40 years. The Rockets got back-to-back number 1 picks. They got the Twin Towers with Olajuwon and Sampson, and they put in a lottery for 7 teams that didn't make the playoffs in response to that. They've been looking for an answer for this forever. And it's really sped up now because people are using rest and game management in addition to whatever injury that they can contort into taking players out. And a game management thing goes back 20 years, and that's Popovich, a legend of the game, saying, hey, the regular season doesn't really matter. We don't need 2, 3, 5 more regular season wins. This is about the playoffs. And he got 5 championships doing it, so you can hate it, but it worked. Now, obviously, it's getting to a point where TV partners have complained about stars not playing, and we got all kinds of complaints about the tanking. What can be done? And you did this with baseball. You were saying baseball's trending in the wrong direction. You gave us like 10 different ideas. And sure enough, when baseball picked up more momentum and got a bounce a few years ago, it's because they made 3 or 4 tweaks, the kind of tweaks the NFL makes all the time, and the NFL is the beast. So what can the NBA do big picture? Because I couldn't disagree more with this USA Today Sports headline I'm looking at right now. The NBA handed out 2 big fines to organizations over tanking concerns, with Adam Silver delivering a forceful message. No. He irritated a couple owners. They're going to wave it away like a fly, and we can argue over which teams, but there'll be teams tanking next year, in 2 years, in 3. In 5 years, there'll be teams tanking. If they don't do something big and bold. You advocated bold for baseball. Either your ideas or ideas you've gotten walking around arenas, talking to people because you got to get to the arena 2 hours for a game or whatever it is. What do you got for us? What could the NBA do big and bold that changes the narrative on game management and changes the narrative on this tanking? Because when the best NBA players play at the highest level in the playoffs, it's wildly entertaining. How do we get that in the regular season?
So there's 2 things you have to do. And it's very complicated. So one is you have to still have a system by which the teams that are in developmental stage, that is just going to be a fact of life for teams at different times and periods, that you are in a developmental stage. So you need to have a system where teams at a developmental stage have the opportunity to get new talent and have a way, because free agency is not available to all teams, nor is it really available much at all right now. And not everyone can, make trades. So you have to have the draft still be a mechanism by which teams can get talent. That's the first thing. So you can't go to the wheel. You can't go. The wheel is the idea that everyone gets one of 30 picks over 30 years. You can't go to something where, okay, the team that is the closest to the playoffs and won the most games that didn't make the playoffs gets the pick, because then you're actually going to have people tanking to miss the playoffs. You have to find a way to incentivize winning while still allowing teams to go through a developmental stage. The best answer I've heard on this is Kevin Pelton. This is radical. I don't think you can do it. But that you set a date randomly that is announced after the season is over. And the draft order is done based on the teams who don't make the playoffs win-loss record positively after that date. But you don't know the date going through the season.
Yeah, you're going to allow more conspiracy theories right there.
I do believe that could lead to some. Right, I was just playing this out of my mind. It's the first time I've heard this one. in this way. It's kind of adjacent to other stuff I've heard. So teams would have to tank immediately while football was happening and nobody was noticing. And then they would play really hard at some point and bring all their guys out.
But the date could be the first day of the season.
Yeah. But if the Lakers get the number 1 pick, then PK's right. There's conspiracy theories from here until forever.
Right. So, I mean, I think that's an idea. There was a guy who wrote an article at Sport Track, or that's not the right name of it. It's
Sport Track, I think.
But his idea was that the top 4 teams are ineligible for the top pick. The bottom 4 teams are actually ineligible. That if you actually build a team that's so bad, but that seems I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
And so those teams automatically go to 5 through 8, and then the other teams, 10 teams, have a lottery, and half of them go 1 through 4, and the others go. I guess that would incentivize you because you want to be a part of the 1 through 4, and you don't want to be a part of you don't want to be 5 through 8.
What about the idea of no draft and you have to use your salary cap space to hire and all these guys coming in the NBA are free agents and you have to use your salary cap space to get them?
Yeah, but I think that no player ever goes to Memphis no matter what. Like, I think you have to have a draft. I think you have to have a draft as a mechanism by which that's the first thing I said. So I still think you have to have a draft as a mechanism for teams to – right now there's only 3 ways to acquire players: free agency, trades, and draft. If you eliminate one of those from teams, and there's a bunch of teams that also already don't have free agency, we don't have a very level playing field.
Right, we don't. Plus, the draft is another entry point for television, and they want to broadcast it. It's about entertainment. Yeah. And so the signing of free agents wouldn't be televised on all that stuff.
Right. And I don't really like the idea that you set – like, the other idea is you set a date, and then after that date, before the season, then you set a date, and then after that date, it's a positive record after that date. But then we literally just have like a tank standings like we do right now, frankly, up to that date. That doesn't solve anything.
I think all that stuff is fantasy. I'd rather deal in the reality of what's going on right now. And if I'm the Jazz, I just change the story and say, hey, this is what we're going to do because we have young players. We made the trades of the All-Stars 4 years ago, and we accumulated all these draft picks, and now these picks are actual players. And so we're not going to be a playoff team. What better time to get the most true form of evaluation is during the season. It's not in practice. It's not in the summer leagues. It is during the season, and we've got so many guys under 22 who show big-time potential. Isaiah Collier shows potential. Ace Bailey, the list goes on, obviously. And so we want to see what they can do. And if you think that is tanking, go ahead and think it. But we're actually trying to win at all costs for the 26-27 season, and this is in our best interest. And if you don't like it, here's my thumb on my nose, and I'm wiggling my fingers right at you. Go ahead and fine us, but we're going to get the last laugh, and we're a benefit to this league. We're not a detriment because we know what we're doing, and when we're losing, it's going to be a short time. We're not going to be like the Clippers were, obviously under Sterling for so many years, and how Washington is and how Charlotte has been. They got it going this year finally. Good for them. And these other teams, Sacramento minus the Bibby years and those guys, they've sucked forever. No, we are a plus. We're an asset to the league, and we will show you. We are trying to win for the 26-27 season, and nothing is going to get in the way of us trying to accomplish that.
Well, yeah, and I don't think Adam Silver is going to find the Jazz again because he doesn't have a press conference coming up in 2
days. PR strategy, disaster containment. See, I did something.
Right, he couldn't go. No, this is all this is. Like, I apologize if somebody thinks this is like whether it's my bosses or fans to think this is a ridiculous. This was only because Adam Silver has a press conference coming in 2 days, and he couldn't look like an idiot at a press conference saying he hadn't done anything about tanking when somebody had orchestrated that the media talk about it for 3 days because they benefited out of it. That's all that's going on. I did a whole podcast on it. I have no doubt. This was an orchestrated media effort by someone who benefits from the Jazz being put in the spotlight. The Jazz being put in the spotlight is too strange and too weird unless there's somebody out there that benefits from it. Somebody does. They put the Jazz in the spotlight. Adam Silver got screwed because there's no Super Bowl to talk about anymore. And so the entire national media was talking about this. And Adam Silver didn't want to go to a press conference in 2 days and stand up there and get asked about tanking and having done nothing. So it cost Ryan Smith $500,000. It's garbage. That's what happened.
Yeah, well, nothing has been addressed. In terms of solutions, the Jazz actually are a solution to the tanking problem. This is the way you do it.
Right.
And they'll get out of it. And for the next 10 years, starting in October, Adam Silver, whoever is the commissioner, they're going to have to worry about the Jazz. The Jazz are going to be right back winning again.
100%. And the fact is, the most important thing for this 25 games is to find out whether Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, H. Bailey, Cody Williams, and Bryce Sensabaugh are good enough to play on a playoff team. That's what you need to find out.
Exactly. They ought to be
against
applauded.
Orlando, they weren't, and against Miami, they were.
The answer is they are.
I don't know.
Okay. Why not? And which players?
Because I just think the kind of wins we're having to go get coming up are just so dramatically different than anything we're doing right now. And, right now, I get it's hard on the fans, and I get it's not very much fun for the players, but it's pretty easy, right? You get blown by 3 times in a row on a defensive possession right now, and you get to go try for the 4th possession. You're trying to win 50 games in the NBA season. You get blown by in 3 straight possessions. You don't play for a week.
I don't think they'll get blown by when they have 3 7-footers playing behind them. I thought that. I thought the Portland game with all the tall guys out looked dramatically different.
Yeah. I'm not blown by. Was just trying to use an example of
I think what we're seeing.
I'm not trying to say anything, but I can be totally critical of all 4 of them if I want to be, but that's because as Will Hardy astutely said at the end of last year, you need to make sure your weaknesses are good enough that your strengths can show. And right now, we just deal with their weaknesses. It's just fine. It's not a problem. It's fine. Because if we win, it doesn't matter because development matters. It matters if we win next year. Those weaknesses are not fine. Not rotating on defensively, not cutting offensively, not being able to make a shot, not being able to cover someone on a switch, not grabbing a rebound you need to grab. All those things that right now you go look at film with your coach and they say, hey, when you're up here in the high right and the ball moves and they're sagging off you, you've got to cut and take your defender with you. You don't do that 2 times, 3 times in a row. You don't play anymore. Right now, you look at film and the coaches say, hey, we really need to do this. Do we look at this? Look at this tomorrow when you're playing. But that's not what happens next year. It's just a totally different world. And so I'm very reluctant to just automatically say that all of them are ready to go. And that's why the next 30 days or 30 games are wildly important for them to be used in that fashion. And frankly, for Lowry Markkanen and Keontae George, I know I don't need to see anything. I know who they are.
Right.
But see, that's
the
thing
league
is,
has no authority to tell them not to do this. They have no right and no authority.
I just said this in my podcast. Here's the total bullcrap. In Orlando, Jaren Jackson and Lowry Markkanen both played 9 minutes in the third quarter. Okay? If Will Hardy just spaced it out, so it's 3 minutes in the third quarter, and then they sat, and then they came back in for a 3-minute stint that gapped the third and fourth quarter, and they when we were down 8, they came back in for 3 minutes to end the fourth quarter? Would have we been all right? Probably.
No, because that goes back to your original point that that's not what this is about. This is about somebody else complaining so that they benefit, Oklahoma City Thunder, who want the draft pick.
But they couldn't have gotten their mouthpiece, Bobby Marks and Brian Windhorst, to go, well, Will Hardy's substituted Lauri Markkanen 2 minutes later than usual in the regular rotation. That's boring television.
Why are those guys the mouthpieces of the OKC Thunder?
I don't know.
Who?
I mean, I just assume it comes back to the local media in a lot of situations. And you and I were in the tunnel at the Delta Center, and there was somebody from Chicago who was saying the same thing. Every club is buddying up to certain people in the national media, including the Jazz have done it pretty clearly. I've seen national people go walking across the floor during practice where local people aren't allowed to. They roll out the red carpet for the national media because they're trying to impact whatever storyline is out there. And so everybody picks somebody. I don't know why they specifically pick them, but everybody picks somebody and tries to build a relationship and get their story out there without their fingerprints on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The thing I will say, one more thing, and we can get into this another week with you, about these young guys, is the thing I think that I've seen watching them play here is a lot of these guys are not ready for starter minutes, but they are ready to beat up on backups. And I think that's where a lot of these young guys have gone. Keontae aside, he's going to be in the starting lineup. And it's not really clear to me about Ace Bailey just because it is so early. But some of these other guys, the starting minutes might be hard, but the backup minutes are starting to look pretty easy, and they're looking pretty confident in those situations. You know, I love Sensabaugh coming off the bench. I don't think you want to start him and play him 35 minutes a night. But if he's going to come off the bench as a sharpshooter, he's going to make an impact. And I think given how good the other guys you were talking about are, that we know who they are, I don't think there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting done for these guys to get the team to the top 8. Maybe I'll be proven wrong.
Here's my point. and I think you're right. And I'm a big fan of Bryce, and I think he's gotten way better. I think he's even gotten better defensively. You just called him a sharpshooter.
At times.
What's he shooting? What's he shooting?
Streak shooter. I probably shouldn't have called him sharpshooter.
But honestly, what's he shooting?
I'll have to look up the number. You know what it is. You can just tell me.
I think he's shooting 33% from 3, which is 3 points below league average. That's a great example. We are just letting that go. That is fine right now because he's a great shooter and he gets hot. He does all these things. He's showing signs. That's fine. If you're trying to win 50 games, he has to shoot 40%. If he is your shooter off the bench in this day and age and you're going to win 50 games, he has to shoot 40%, not 33. That is the best example of what I was trying to say earlier. And it's not that I'm not trying to say Bryce is not good enough. I'm just saying that what we're allowing to have happen right now, because we're winning 20 games, and we then call it good enough, is not good enough anymore.
Yeah, I had put that bar more at all these deficiencies are going to show up in the playoffs. That because they're just trying to make the playoffs, even absorbing 30 losses isn't a big deal. But when they get to the playoffs and teams have 2 weeks to hone in on this, it's going to be a major problem.
I mean, these are I'm not trying to bury these guys. I think they all have a chance, but I just want to make sure we all understand that the world's changed. And I think it's fascinating to watch happen. And I think it's going to be an incredible next 2 months to watch this. But, go look at other teams' rosters. There are not off-the-bench shooters that shoot 33% that aren't the 5 best defensive players in the NBA. Bryce is up to 34.5, by the way, just in fairness.
Yeah. Okay.
But Kyle's at 33 as a stretch 4, okay? That doesn't exist. Isaiah Collier. There are 3 NBA players right now who play 20 minutes a night, are guards, shoot less than 3 threes a game, and make less than 30%. Amen Thompson and Dyson Daniels, the 2 best on-ball defenders in the NBA, and Isaiah Collier.
All right, there is David Locke talking to us on Friday. Hey, a reminder, the KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sport volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest. And listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. When we come back, BYU, Jimmer Fredette gets the jersey retired, and the Cougars grind out a win over Colorado at home in overtime, but lose Richie Saunders in the process. That's next. Stay with us. Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, KSL Sports Zones. Jimmer Fredette gets the number up in the rafters on the banner, and BYU beats Colorado, but loses Richie Saunders to an ACL injury in the process. Let's start first with Jimmer Fredette. Jerseys over every seat in the entire Marriott Center. A big day to honor Jimmer, and here's Jimmer Fredette.
Why do you think what you did here resonates with so many people and you can impact on so many people?
You know, I think there's a few different reasons for it. I think, first of all, BYU hadn't been great at basketball for a while, you know, like really prevalent in basketball since kind of Danny Ainge in his years. And I think that fact, obviously the fact that I was shooting from long distances, I think people are like, why is he pulling up from there? What's going on with this shot, and why are they letting him shoot it? And when they saw it go in, I thought people really gravitated towards that. And I think our team was just very likable. We were really good, obviously, so I think that plays a part of it. If we weren't great, I don't think this would be the same way. And it just, I think that this school is truly a worldwide school. I don't think people realize that. Like, there's BYU fans all over the country, all over the world, because of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So people all over the country were seeing that were BYU fans, and it kind of just resonated with the rest of the country. So it was a really unique and special time.
What were the emotions just now seeing the jersey unveiled and up in the rafters now?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's hard to put into words, right? Like, you see all the few jerseys that are up there, and it's not easy to get your jersey retired at Brigham Young University with a lot of the requirements that they have. So it's a special thing to be able to have that. And to be here and do this with my family now, right, with my kids. I'm glad they waited the 15 years, honestly, because for me, now I get to have all my 3 kids there, and, you know, the older 2 for sure kind of knew what was going on. So to be able to have that experience with my family has been, it's been pretty speechless, honestly.
What has this week been like? I think you were at the bookstore. The line was all the way out there.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Yeah, yesterday was a lot of fun. Just gave back and wanted to see the fans. I was there for an hour and a half strong, and it just kept coming through. And obviously, I think I could have stayed for a lot longer if they didn't want to cut the line off. So I appreciate Cougar Nation coming out and supporting me at the bookstore and just seeing all the fans.
When you reflect on your career, is there a moment that stands out to you, a favorite memory?
It's hard to put it into one, right? Like, I've had so many great memories here, and a lot of them were off the floor, right? A lot of them were just with my friends, and, you know, being stupid college kids and having a great time on the bus and doing fun things. But obviously, once we made it to the Sweet 16, that my senior year, I mean, there's not much better than that for us. That was something that BYU hadn't done for a long time, and to get that monkey off our backs again, and it was pure happiness, but also relief, I think, for a lot of people. So, I mean, that was right up there, and obviously had a lot of great memories right there on that floor as well.
Two more questions. You touched on it a bit out there, but what does it mean to you personally to be so synonymous with BYU?
It means a lot to me, right? I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that's what this institution is about. It's something where, you know, I try to be a good person and someone who's kind to people, and I hope that when people at least see me or talk to me or, you know, are around me, feel like I tried to treat them the right way. And I think for me, that's the most important thing. Obviously, I love basketball, and it's something that I want people to know me for as well. I worked really hard at it to be able to get to where I am in this position. But that fades eventually, especially if you don't treat people the right way. So I think, you know, that's been a huge part of it, and that's what this institution is all about.
Last question.
Do you see any similarities between how many people want to see AJ and this current crew versus how many people wanted to see you and BYU in the national spotlight now time and again?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, this was probably the most sought after ticket for season tickets ever since I was probably there, because they love AJ. They want him to succeed. They want the team to succeed. There was a lot of high expectations, obviously, this year for this team, and they've played really well. You know, they've had a little bit of a slide recently, but that's basketball. It's going to happen no matter what, especially in the Big 12 when you're playing against all these great teams. It's about how you finish, but they have a chance to be great, and I think the BYU fans saw that, obviously, and wanted to be a part of it.
All right, there's Jimmer Fredette. Now let's get to AJ DeBonsa and Rob Wright talking about the win over Colorado.
Rob, obviously a huge day for you. Just what was it like to put out 39 points, and would you have things going today?
Honestly, it just felt good to get the win. I mean, they were doubling AJ, so I was just playing off him, making shots early, and just got rolling. Then when Richie went down, we knew somebody had to step up, so I guess it was me today.
What does Richie mean to this team, Rob?
He means a lot. I mean, he's our hardest worker, super talented player, so, I mean, hopefully we got him back.
How did losing Richie early in the game affect you guys on the court today?
I mean, having a guy like Richie out, I mean, it obviously hurt us. The game might have been closer than it should have been, but, I mean, it was just good to pull it through and it's next man up.
AJ, when they talk about next man up, how confident are you in guys coming off the bench to step up should the need be if Richie comes back or whatever?
Not super confident. I mean, I see these guys in practice, so, Tanamura stepped up, Alexei. I mean, y'all seen it in numerous games. They can come in and hit threes and play defense, so, I'm super confident in those guys.
AJ, Coach was telling us that you really like playing with Alex. Can you just expand on that? Or what do you like?
Yeah, like he just knows how to find shots. And obviously I get double line, draw a lot of attention, so sometimes those passes are super hard to make, across court, but he just finds certain windows and the passes are super easy to get to him.
AJ, why were you guys able to pull away in overtime?
Just energy. I mean, after that timeout that we had in overtime, Coach was just like, yo, just put him away. And that was really the message, just put him away.
If you had 13 rebounds, even when shots aren't falling, you're not getting to the free throw line, how are you still able to affect the game?
I mean, that was the thing right there, like, rebounding. I think, my dad, he right there, he told me I don't rebound a lot. So I came in here and just, wanted to prove to him that I can rebound. But also, like, shots weren't falling, so I was trying to make sure that, if the other team misses a shot, that they don't get any second chance opportunities.
Where do you guys feel like you're at defensively right now as a team?
Definitely a lot to improve on. But it's been better. It's been better than that 4-game stretch that we had. I think that was kind of the main reason why we were losing games, because of our defensive lapses. I mean, certain guys in the other team, I think Johnson got hot. I don't think he should have got some threes off. Harger shouldn't have got some threes off, but it's life, but we're adjusting.
For both of you guys, what did you guys know about Jimmer Fredette before you arrived at BYU? And since you've been here, what have you kind of gotten to know about Jimmer?
All I know is that he was him. That's about it.
I kind of heard he was like one of the best players to play here. Crazy. I don't know.
Did he talk to you guys before the game or any point today?
No, I've actually never met him in person.
Yeah, I've never met him either.
Well, he's here if you want.
I'll probably see him when I go outside.
Rob, can you just walk us through that pass that you had to Alex on the three-pointer in overtime? It's a pretty big play, and you made 12 shots, but it feels like that might have been your biggest free of the night.
His guy helped in, and when I went to do my move, I just felt that the paint was too congested, so I looked out, and he was relocating to the three-point line. Then he made a shot he makes all the time. So.
Two more questions.
AJ, your early thoughts. I know there's still some time until Wednesday, but getting a rematch at Arizona next week. Just kind of your thoughts about getting a second crack at them this time on the road.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we should have won the one at home. I think losing by 3 really hurt us. Some defensive lapses that we shouldn't have had. So, I mean, we're coming in ready. We're going to have the scouting report ready. We're going to trust the staff and go get a win in McHale.
Last question.
If you guys are without Richie for a while, what's your confidence in the other guys on the team stepping up and getting the job done with it?
Yeah, it's definitely hard because, he brings so much shot making. He brings so much offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, and he was just like Locke, like our vocal leader, a vet on the team. But, I mean, I have confidence in the guys to step up. I think Mook can step up some more, hit some shots. Tyler, Mihai came off the bench. I think everybody just has a chance, and everybody's going to step into their roles.
There's AJ DeBonsa and Rob Wright. Now here's Kevin Young.
Yeah, statement. Yeah, glad we got the win, bottom line. The Big 12 is a tough league. You see it across the landscape, not just in our league, but every league, It's hard to win, bottom line. So we had a lot working against us tonight. Proud of our guys for stepping up. Had some guys coming off the bench and make huge plays. I'll get this out of the way. I have no update on Richie. I'm waiting to hear like everybody else. So with that, I'll open it up with questions.
Kevin, AJ had kind of a mixed game performance by his standards. He did get 20 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, but he also had 7 turnovers, and he shot only 30% from the field. What do you feel like Colorado kind of did to ball him up a little bit today?
Yeah, I think one-on-one defense. The kid Ranchit stepped up to the challenge. He's long, 6'11", long arms, good athlete. That was probably the main point. They did a pretty good job, too, off the ball with helping and stuff, especially without Richie. They could really load up on him. We were trying different things to put different people out there to give him a little bit more space to play in. But that's kind of why we put the ball a little bit more in his hands and have Rob off the ball. Rob's been one of our best catch-and-shoot guys all year. And so, for me, the 7 turnovers is probably what's the most concerning thing with AJ that we can help him with. The shot making, I don't worry about. I thought he got fouled, if I'm being honest, on probably 3 or 4 of those that they missed. But at his size, to be able to have 8 assists, I think says a lot about his growth, in terms of playing a little bit more under control. So we got to clean those turnovers up.
A career night for Rob, almost 40 points. Just what stood out most in his game this afternoon?
Yeah, I didn't even know he had that many points, to be honest with you. I looked down after the game and was like, holy cow. He's playing the game right now at an incredible pace in terms of his control. I think he's doing a great job of his biggest strength is his speed and quickness, and I think sometimes he gets him in trouble, but I think the last couple of games he's done a fantastic job of getting to the paint, playing under control, playing off 2 feet. And then on top of that, like I said before, to the other question, he's shooting the ball at a very high clip on a catch-and-shoot situation. And, that's really helped kind of his efficiency and helped him be a real scoring threat for us.
How would you describe what the emotions were for the team when Richie went down in that first minute?
You never know, right? You don't know what happened, right? Obviously, you don't know the severity of it and so forth, which, Tice, you stepped out. I told them I've not heard on Richie, so just so everyone's on the same page there. But, yeah, I think it sucked the life out of the gym, if I'm being honest. You never want to see an injury to any player, but definitely to someone who's, heart and soul of our team, bleeds BYU blue, and, just didn't like seeing it. But, unfortunately, you got to move on, right? You got to find a way to come in and channel that emotion. I thought Tyler did a great job of coming in, making a couple shots. And then obviously Alex hit one, then hit the huge one there at the end. But, it's a team game, and guys got to come in off the bench and be ready to go, which we haven't done a lot of this year because those quote-unquote other 3 guys have been so good. But I was proud of those guys to come in and ready to, contribute to the win.
I'm sure you weren't out for the jersey retirement ceremony, but just what do you make of the whole afternoon for Jimmer and just his impact on BYU basketball?
Yeah, I don't even know if words can describe his impact on BYU basketball. I think just the fact that it turned into a true global phenomenon is incredible. The run he had here with Coach Rose and all of his teammates is something that I'm not sure we'll ever see in college basketball ever again at any school, right? And so for him to, I think, just be the type of person he is, type of husband, father, ambassador for BYU, ambassador for the church, couldn't happen to a better guy. Super happy for him and his family. I've enjoyed getting to know him a little bit more on a personal level. We knew each other a little bit before I got here, but just a class act, and really happy for him and Whitney.
What led to you giving more minutes to Beto tonight compared to Keita, who only ended up with 19?
Yeah, I thought Beto's pick and roll coverage was good. We went to a little bit more of a drop coverage. I thought he had 5 blocks. That's his strength, and so those guards are good. Kid Johnson's a really good player. We saw Hargraves last year when he was at Riverside, and so it was tough to. We were trying to put 2 on the ball early, and I thought they were getting to their spots even more. So went to a different coverage, and Beto, I thought, was doing a good job there. So I just kind of wrote him out.
How would you assess how Kate has been playing tonight in recent games as of late?
Yeah, definitely needs to pick it up for sure. He has an injury going on with his hand. And things happen. You go through ups and downs. He definitely wants to play better. I've challenged him. We've had some conversations. Some of my coaches have had some conversation with him. So, we need his intensity. There's no getting around it. He's a guy that, athletically is second to none. So we got to continue to try to find ways to get him giving us a little bit more production, and that's on me to figure out.
2 more questions. He made the 2 big ones, but he took 4 3-pointers that Lexi did. Can a night like tonight, or a day like today, I guess, help a shooter like that just get in the right mentality for your stretch run of the season?
Yeah, I think so. There's it's just a beautiful thing in terms of what seeing the ball go through the net does to your confidence. And also, not just that, but then I think you also draw a lot of confidence from when your teammates believe that you're going to make shots. They're looking for them. They're trying to find them on kickouts. I've talked to AJ about it. I like playing with Alex because he knows how to get to his spots and make easy passes for me. So, I think not just him, but Tyler too, and with Richie's situation, who knows, we're going to need some shooting, and glad for those guys to get a chance to do it in a game we absolutely had to win.
Last question.
What was the message going into overtime?
Just trying to, they got a little too comfortable. We were trying to get our defense right, make sure we had the right coverages. But just trying to dig down, like coming into the game, again, I'll say it again, I fully expected that game to be very difficult. They got punched in the mouth on the road. I don't know if you all saw Coach Boyle's comments after the game, but he clearly wasn't happy. And, he's a veteran coach who's had a lot of success. I have a lot of respect for him. And so you knew his team was going to be ready to come in and fight, and that's a good lesson for our guys. But, as much as anything, I'm just happy that our guys were able to pull a win-out. Games like those can be very challenging, especially given, what happened early in the game emotionally and so forth. So I'm saying all that to say that was kind of the message in the timeout. Let's find a way to go out and get this thing done, and thankfully we did.
All right, there's BYU basketball coach Kevin Young. When we come back, what is trending? The headlines are next.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
News update. This is what's trending with DJ and PK. #NBA.
As of today, I'm committed to the Milwaukee Bucks, and I'm committed to the people that I work with, my teammates, the coaching staff, Coach Duck, and John in the front office. What I've said from the beginning of this year is that out of my mouth and the way I've carried myself, you will never hear me say I don't want to be a Milwaukee Buck.
Giannis Antetokounmpo on his commitment to Milwaukee. He's committed until he's not, PK.
I could sleep a lot better now.
I thought so. This has been dragging on, about 3 years now?
I don't know. I don't care.
Will you care when he lands somewhere and possibly makes him a contender? Or it's gone on so long and
no, I'll
he's
care
had so
then.
many
I
injuries.
don't care the ongoing
then,
thing. Sure, where he ends up, if he goes somewhere, I'll evaluate it and see what I think and come with a strong and 99 percentile opportunity to have a correct opinion. Yeah, right. So when that happens, I'll let everybody know, and then they can stop worrying about it themselves.
Speaking of ongoing discussions, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver saying Saturday tanking's been worse this year than any we've seen in recent memory. He's considering every possible remedy. Take away draft picks, more fines. Would they do away with the draft? Would they make rookie players free agents? For the moment, everything is on the table.
Rookie players? Not rookies?
Oh, yeah, same thing.
I don't think he's going to do anything that is going to matter. You'll just move the bag back, and then they'll figure out something else. There's no way they're going to make them free agents because they need programming on that fourth week of June. And what are they going to do? Have programming? Have like when you guys did at the other place when you were so anti-BYU and you brought the guy down knowing he would choose SC on the hat?
Who was that?
I think it was Havili. Yeah, who's that? That's it. Play dumb. Nice call.
Thank you.
Nice call. No one's buying it.
Well, when you said bring him down, the first thing I thought was Riley Nelson. Brought him down from Logan. Future for LeBron James beyond this season remains murky. The Lakers star says, when I know, you guys will know. I don't know. I have no idea. I just want to live. That's all. Season 24 hangs in the balance.
I got to give it to him, man. He can make drama out of which pair of socks to wear today.
He doesn't want to take a big pay cut in L.A. Does he want to play for the Clippers if he doesn't want to move? He's in his 40s, and so he's really good, but he is clearly not what he was. Does seem like it'd be a good time to walk away, and you've had people telling you that for a while now. Was it a year and a half ago? A year ago with a season and a half left.
Well, they thought that would be it with the All-Star game being down there in Los Angeles, and maybe they were half right, meaning he won't be back with the Lakers. I think that was the point, and the assumption was that he would then retire if he was not back with the Lakers, that they were going to let it run its course
and then move on.
And then the assumption was that he would retire, but if he has other plans, that's up to him. He'll find a place to play next year.
DJ PK.
#college basketball.
BYU beats Colorado, but Richie Saunders suffers a torn ACL 45 seconds into what turns out to be an overtime victory. He is the sixth player to suffer a season-ending injury or not be eligible, but this is clearly the biggest hit right here, PK.
Oh, no question, and it's just awful news for him because he can't get this back. This is gone now. His senior year is over, his college career is over, and he can't get it back. And whether there's implications in the professional ranks remains to be seen because people have recovered from that and he can come back and, as he vowed on social media, bigger, better than ever, all that stuff. And that's great. And obviously every single person on the planet hopes that that's the case for him. But the fact is he'll never be able to get back this next, essentially, month. And that's a shame.
Yeah, 4, 5, or 6 weeks, which are the biggest and the best, and the whole thing's coming to a crescendo, and he's going to miss out on all that.
He loved it last year, and it was cool and all that. It's a once-in-a-lifetime deal for him last year. I think that, his first year they didn't make the tournament, second year did. Last year was a great run, and they were anticipating something similar along those lines this year, and it's gone. And it cannot be replaced, and that bites.
Iowa State beats Houston 70-67. Number 6 taking down number 2. They were down 10 with about 7 minutes to go in that game. A furious finish for Iowa State to come back and win. The power of the home court. Yes, Texas Tech did go to Arizona, but we're seeing a lot of these big games in the Big 12 go into the home.
I don't think
team.
Arizona has that home court because you look at, we've all seen the picture of the kid taking the ball out of bounds on the sideline at Duke. And 2 feet away
there's hundreds or thousands of students going crazy.
In Arizona, it's a bunch of old people. There, last night,
Iowa State was crazy.
Yeah. And I think that
and
certainly
when
helped them.
Kansas has won some big games at home recently, obviously being Arizona, that place is crazy. You've been to Houston. They weren't winning as much then as they are now.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Smaller.
And were you there for a big Monday, too? That was really apples and oranges.
I can't remember now, but I've been there.
Kansas State fired head coach Jerome Tang after dropping to 1-12 in Big 12 play, and he's making critical comments about his roster. The school's attempting to fire him for cause, while he issued a statement that he plans to fight the school over the reported $18 million or $18 million plus that he's owed
what's the cause?
Buyout money. Oh, there's a thing in there about embarrassing the school, and they're going to go to the post-game press conference.
Well,
and
they're
say
1-12. That's embarrassing.
Embarrassment and disparagement.
Disparagement?
Yes. DJ and PK.
#NFL.
Don't be surprised in the next couple of weeks as we get closer and closer to free agency. There's going to be some big name quarterbacks that are currently in destinations that have contracts that are going to be targeted. Teams are going to be aggressive. CJ Stroud's a name. Does he need a new scenery? I'm just getting out ahead of, you're going to hear some information, whether it's at the forefront or some whispers and rumors.
Todd McShay expecting an active NFL trade market. You don't usually see quarterback C.J. Stroud. Now, he is on the rookie deal, but he's getting late in the rookie deal, so he's about to get paid. So I guess that would maybe change the equation a little bit. But that would be a big deal. You don't usually see guys like that traded. If, indeed, Todd McShay is right and he's going to get traded.
Yeah, I see a lot of it is just rearranging the deck chairs. So Tua's going to go somewhere, Kyler Murray's going to go somewhere, and the results are going to be the same.
Derek Carr sees some of that and thinks, maybe I should get back in. He says he's willing to unretire if he was able to chase a Super Bowl title with the team. He retired last May with 2 years remaining on the deal with New Orleans at the age of 34. Dolphins let Tyreek Hill go in a flurry of roster moves designed to free up significant salary cap space. Hill, a free agent at the age of 32, coming off a dislocated knee and torn ACL suffered in Week 4, said the Cheetah don't slow down. Ever. So everyone wondering what's next? Just wait on it. The Cheetah will be back, born again. And the Seahawks are unlikely to use the franchise tag on Kenneth Walker III. They have a number of free agents to attempt to retain, while also looking to extend star wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba's contract this offseason as he becomes eligible to sign an expensive long-term deal. The price of winning. Walker's going to be an unrestricted free agent. So rookie cap number was 2.7. The franchise tag would take him up to 14.5. So they'll try to find some number in between that and get him signed. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
You like bold moves, PK. How do you feel about Sacramento State paying $18 million to join the MAC on a 5-year deal? And they're going to be covering air travel expenses for the teams making the trip for conference games.
I couldn't care less.
Paying their way to get in. BYU announced Friday that Parker Kingston was no longer a student at the university, no longer a member of the football program after his arrest on felony rape allegations in St. George.
Watching, or not watching, but actually seeing that picture of him in the prison garb was just so
jarring.
chilling.
Yeah.
And I'm not proclaiming innocence or guilt on either party or whatever. The law will take care of itself. But just to see a young person with so much promise all of a sudden go from one day to the next and be in prison garb, like it was almost gasping. Oh my gosh, man, this is awful.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
The switch to right field for Angel star Mike Trout appears to have lasted one season. He says now he plans to play center field this season, saying he feels more comfortable out there.
Well, I think the key word is play.
Can he stay healthy?
Yeah, play. That's what you need to be doing. I believe that in August he'll be 35.
The clock is ticking.
Yeah,
He's
you got to
been
play.
a lot of injury-damaged seasons over the last 5 years.
Right, so I don't care where he plays, as long as he plays.
Padres extend the contract of A.J. Preller, their longtime head of baseball operations, providing a little stability for a franchise that could change ownership in the near future.
They for sale?
Yeah, their owner passed away, and I think it's a little bit like the Blazers and Seahawks. There's some kind of tax advantages to however they do this, but they don't tend to sell them right away. But they do sell them. So there's the anticipation that they will be for sale here shortly.
Sweet.
We'll see.
Hat back by him and move him here?
Nah, I don't know. Let's follow the Coyotes model. DJ and PK. Team USA, Team Canada facing off for the gold medal in women's hockey as expected. The U.S. blows out Sweden 5-0, and Canada slips past Switzerland 2-1 in the semifinals. So they will play for the gold. And 41-year-old Elena Myers-Taylor won the mono bobsled title and notched her first gold medal in her career, spanning 5 Olympics, and added the 6th overall medal to her tally, tied for most for a U.S. woman. 6 medals, and now she has one that's gold. 41's a long time to chase the dream, PK, but she got it done.
Good for her.
What is trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Mike Folta, Utah Mammoth radio voice, will join us coming up. We'll talk Olympic hockey with him, and the men are through group play. The U.S. men with a perfect 3-0 record in first place. They have a bye into the quarterfinals. We'll talk with him at 8 o'clock. And Mark Durrant, BYU basketball radio analyst, will join us at 9 o'clock. Where do the Cougars go from here, missing one of their top 3 scorers? And it's a Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday. We'll give away tickets to watch the Jazz play the Pelicans February 26th at the Delta Center. That's coming up in the 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock hours. The question of the day, and you know what the question really of the weekend is. We will get to that. What are the Cougars going to do now? We'll get to that next.
This is JJ and Alex. I got this.
Joining us on the program right now for Jazz Daily, he is the coach, Tim Lacombe. You can hear him, of course, pre-half and post on your radio dial right here, the radio home of the Utah Jazz.
When you just look at it at face value, you're adding a 2-time All-Star Defensive Player of the Year, a guy that is on 5 attempts per night from 3, shooting 36%. Wow. Rebounding is low. It's always kind of been low. I'm hoping maybe Will can get to him like he got to Colin on tempo. It would have, a guy that was voted Defensive Player of the Year. He's blocking 3 shots a game. game back then. That alongside what I think is probably one of the up-and-coming dominant rim protectors. You know, if Walker and the Jazz find common ground, you look at a team that's really big, but you also look at a team that's very long. This move allows Lowry to go to the 3, and he is an absolute cheat code at 3. It's pretty exciting to think about.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 7 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK brought to you in part by University of Utah Health. At University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. Well, the question of the morning, PK. Richie Saunders done for the season with an ACL injury 45 seconds into the Colorado game. Are the Cougars done too? Matt, no. Next question. Look at Matt, defiant. Meanwhile, Ben, yes, they are. If you take away one of the team's 3 good players, they tend to suffer. So I guess done to what degree? Because we do have the literalist down here. I'm pretty sure they'll still play the games on the schedule, Martin says.
Well, he's not certain, though. He's pretty sure.
He's pretty sure, right?
Right? That's what
well,
he says.
It comes down to how many games are on the schedule, right? How deep can they go in the Big 12 tournament? And more importantly, how deep can they go in the NCAA tournament? And whereas before it seemed like Sweet 16, for much of the season, I think we thought Sweet 16 needed to be the floor, and then, Final Four would be awesome.
What much of the season?
For 17, 18 games until they hit that stretch and lost 5 out of 6, at which point I think people had plenty of questions and were recalibrating. Right. And now it seems like
we're on Saturday morning, what was your ceiling for them?
Sweet 16.
Okay. Then Saturday night, what was your?
Still Sweet 16, but much less likely they get there. I mean, there are teams that make it to the Sweet 16 now that we can't predict. But what am I expecting them to do? I'm expecting to lose their first or second game. I don't know who they're going to be seeded against, where they're going to be sent, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm not.
Going to be playing. But
I'm expecting them to get to the Sweet 16.
It's still doable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think this injury derails them from getting to the Sweet 16. Because I think Kevin Young has mangled the bench.
And now the bench is
and it'll get back to him, but yeah, because these guys,
but
he's given them 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes here.
And they weren't doing anything.
Right.
He did not believe in them.
Right.
It was clear by the way he was distributing minutes.
Right.
And for all of us watching the Colorado game, it was like, well, shots going in here, shots going in there.
He never developed the bench. It's on him. He brought these guys in. Now all of a sudden they suck. Why did you bring them in the first place? If they suck, why'd you bring them in?
But now you're going to have to let guys play, to your point,
right.
8, 10, 12 minutes at a time.
Right.
We're going to see more guys in the box score. I don't know how they're going to divvy up his minutes. I don't know anybody's going to get all of his minutes. But, hey, it's still, if guys are getting 15, 20 minutes and they can produce 6 or 8 points.
Yeah, and we saw it Saturday.
Yeah. And also what you said, I think they're kind of being forced into it, but they're also realizing it works. So I just think they're gravitating to it. There's a little bit of both. But they got a guy who's usually the 6-foot guy who handles the ball you refer to as the point guard, but he's a scoring guard. And if you put the ball in AJ's hands, either you get a double team, you certainly get the best defender, and you get a double team, you get guys cheating when they're help, and then it's easier to throw the ball back to the guy who wants to score and who can score. He's just gone 30 and 39. So the point guard, more and more, is DeBonsa. And maybe that'll unlock something. Play through him.
I don't care who the point guard is.
Just play through him. The ball goes to his hands earlier in the possession, and it gives him more options.
Point guard is defined by height. That's old school. I've given up that a long time ago. Just play to win the game.
No, then play through DeBonsa.
Well, he's your best player.
Yep. So, and he can handle the ball plenty well enough.
And he's got to hit shots. And this is an opportunity for 2 or 3 guys that have been buried down there for just relief. I mean, who was it? Caustic comes across the lane, hop stops, and then takes a step, and then boom, he takes him out. You made a mistake, you're gone. That's not going to develop any confidence. You brought these guys in, and then you bury them. And now you can't. You got to let them play. If I know I'm going to get 4 at-bats every game, I'm not going to sweat one missed or a strikeout. I got 3 other ABs to come. I can be loose. I think this is an opportunity. You brought these guys in. They've got to be fair. And you brought several of them. You brought them from around the world to come here.
And you were excited about him, or
Right.
you wouldn't have done it.
So now as they can play a little looser, a little free. Mangled isn't the right word. I take that back. He hasn't developed the bench. And you knew that Pickens was hurt at the beginning of the season. So he hasn't played a minute, if I'm correct. So you knew right there, okay, I got to work on this. And then shortly thereafter, earlier in the non-conference, Baker went down. You still didn't develop the guys. And you jockey him in and out, and they don't play. Mammot doesn't play. All of a sudden now he's playing. Well, why didn't you try him earlier? Give him some confidence. You have these games in which you're playing that you're able to beat. You played all these crappy teams by your own acknowledgement, and what does that do for your whatever, it's not RPI now, whatever it's called.
Net rating.
Yeah. Well, who cares about that? How about you worry about development in your bench instead of your Ken Palm? Screw Ken Palm.
From Ahmed at 23 to Moop at 14, there were 5 guys on the bench who played somewhere between 14 and 23 minutes. Now, that may evolve. We'll see. But they definitely they got 18 points and I don't know what they got, 12 boards out of those guys. So they got something out of those guys.
It was the most productive game they've had from the bench all season.
Yeah.
Because Saunders goes down in a minute in the game. Wow, what a remarkable coincidence.
That and Keita's time is the bench time. Because he still played 3 of the 5 starters basically nonstop. It was a 45-minute game with the OT.
Yeah.
And Davis played 39, Wright played 40, and DeBonsa played 43. So you're going to ride those guys.
Well,
I
yeah.
get that, but let's see what these other guys do.
A week ago he was going to pass out, and now he's playing 43 of the 45.
And rebounding, by the way. We were talking about he needs to get boards. 13 rebounds.
He was down there. It was obvious.
Yep.
You're 6'9".
Yeah.
I'm paid to win and develop you, but I'm also paid primarily to win. And I need you down below.
Yeah.
Get down below, and then you can go and be Kevin Durrant next year. But right now I need you down below. And so he is. And he's certainly good enough to do that.
Averaging 4 rebounds a game in losses and 6.5 or 7 boards somewhere in there in wins. And he got 13 in the overtime game. You're welcome. The button got pushed. And look at that.
I don't need to see stats. My eyes tell me I don't need to look at get online and
13 boards is a lot of boards.
Right. Well, duh. Yeah. I don't have the box score open. I don't have their stats open. I don't need to know them. I can see it. It tells me what I need to know. I'm not a box score guy. So away they go. I have an opportunity to watch them play tomorrow, and let's see what they can do. Shock the world type of thing.
That's what it would be at Arizona, right?
And that would be cool. And then it doesn't get any easier on Saturday.
I always stayed at home, yeah.
This is the toughest 2-game stretch they've ever had in the history of the program.
Yeah.
It is.
Topping Arizona and Kansas earlier this year?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you go by the ranking, there's no question. Yeah. And you're getting the Cats after 2 consecutive losses. Not that that's any big deal. To them, it's a big deal, but to their tournament chances, it's irrelevant.
Everybody will forget February and March. It happens every year.
Right. So who cares?
And who's to say by then that they haven't won the conference tournament or sitting on some 6, 7, 8, 9-game winning streak, whatever.
Yeah, their success or when or if they lose in the tournament, they will not point back to this past week in which they lost 2 games. But nevertheless, they're
still
fired
on track.
up.
They're still on track to be a 1 seed.
They're all sorts of fired up.
College basketball people are like, it's Arizona. Among the 1 seeds, Arizona and Michigan are better, and whoever else gets the other 1 seeds. I mean, massive expectations for those guys.
Yeah, so, but they'll be furious. They don't want to lose 3 in a row. So you will get their best shot. Pete, the kid from Phoenix, he got hurt in that game the other night again, and didn't finish against Texas Tech.
They could be down to 6 rotation
so we'll
players of their
see
own.
how they are. And he hit some good shots here at the Marriott Center. He's a nice player. He's projected on everyone's first-round draft choice somewhere, depending on where he's going. We'll see where he ends up going when we get to June. But he's, for a couple of years now, has been projected to be a one-and-done player. We'll see if he's available. But, yeah, now they got an opportunity. And if I'm one of these guys, I'm salivating. at the opportunity to play. Because if I miss a shot, he can't take me out. Who are you going to put in?
He can't take me out for Richie.
Yeah.
Don't say the quiet part out loud, but everybody knows it.
So I think just by – and this is not, well, good for them that Saunders got hurt. That's not the point at all. It sucks 1,000% that his senior year is over and he doesn't get to experience it. And he would literally give money to be able to play. He would say, here, take all the money, whatever I'm getting, take it all as long as I can play. There's no doubt in my mind he would trade whatever he could trade to get back out on the floor tomorrow night with his guys.
Yep.
That's a fact.
And to play in the NCAA tournament.
And that's why you can never get that back. He'll never play in the NCAA tournament again. And that's why this stinks to the highest level for himself, his family, and his team, and the fans, and everybody else, and the coaches, blah, blah, blah. But this is another opportunity for these guys this is their fresh start. Now you have this new beginning for 2 or 3 guys. And let's see what they can do. I'm excited for the development of these guys. They finally have an opportunity to maybe play a stretch and not just sit there game after game.
Clint believes the Cougars are done. They will be lucky to be 500 the rest of the year. That's a little on the depressing side.
Well, 500 will get you into the tournament.
Yeah, they got 3 ranked teams and 6 games left.
So that's you just want to get in and have an opportunity. Maybe, and it depends on 500. If you lose these 2 games this week by 1 or 2 points, after now you've had to recalibrate a little bit without Saunders, is that so bad? Is that a fatal blow? I don't think so.
And literally to get to 4-4, I don't see how they're going to get to 4-4 without beating a ranked team unless there's some big upsets that break their way in the conference tournament. I wouldn't expect that. They got a lot of ranked teams left to play here, and where they're going to be seeded in the conference tournament, I mean, they'll get 1 game in the conference tournament, so I suppose they could get to 4-4 if they beat all the unranked teams and lose to all the ranked teams. The Big 12 gives you plenty of chances to have a night, and the 3-point shot gives you plenty of chances to have a night. So why not?
Worried about what
take
they're going to do
down
in 3 weeks. Well, let's see what they can do this week. Why am I worrying about 3 weeks from now in the conference tournament? I don't care about that. That'll come when it comes. I'm just excited for the bench guys who've been jerked around the whole season to have an opportunity to play.
Lance says they're cooked. Brad says, unfortunately, the Cougars are toast.
Well, butter them up and let's eat them. I don't know that they are relative to your stated expectation.
Mark says the probable ceiling got lower, but they still have 2 of college basketball's best players. They just need others to step up in a big way. It's not as likely to make a run now, but it is not impossible. How far can you ride those
agree with that.
2 good players, especially if you just get some decent play from the bench? They don't have to be world beaters. A few buckets, a few free throws, and that is one thing. You know, we get to these bigger games in March. They're going to foul people. They're going to be trying to get the ball into the hands of guys who aren't as experienced and get them to the line. And when those guys do go to the line, are they going to make a couple of big free throws?
Now I'm 4 weeks away.
Yes. Well, we're going to define the season by whether they go to the Sweet 16
I
or
want to
not.
see what happens tomorrow night. I don't know that we are because now they've got to pass. So I disagree with that. If they don't make it, everybody will point to the injuries. So it won't, if they don't make it, the season will be defined by injuries.
If they do make it, it'll be a great underdog story.
Yeah, a nice rebound. And I'm not going to get caught up in 1 or 2 defeats because I do think now they have to figure out on the fly what lineups work and where they should go with who they should go with. And that might take a little jockeying to figure that one out. So that's what I think they need to be allowed to do that. And that may take, you don't have a lot of time, but that may take some discovery. But, I mean, this guy's supposed to be this master coach, so go discover it. I mean,
figure it out.
You're supposed to be all that, right? I mean, he was brought in, and Nobody received more money ever in the history of BYU to be a head coach in his first year. And I know Locke doesn't like to go to the money, but that doesn't work. Where much is given, much is expected.
And much has been given.
Yeah. And so
that's
the reality.
They're going to be – someone's going to be in the Sweet 16 with less top-line talent than BYU. I mean, that's inevitable. I mean, there's Sweet 16. There'll be the mid-majors. Somebody will get there in that. And there's no way they're going to have people like A.J. DeBonsa and Rob Wright. So figure out how to piece stuff together around them and get where those other teams usually get. Once you get past the Sweet 16, it tends to be a lot of blue bloods, although you still see teams you wouldn't
Now we're in the
think getting
fifth
there.
week.
Yeah. It's all about the NCAA tournament. I'm going to take them 5 weeks at a time. You can take them one game at a time. What you said earlier, a lot of people did echo in here. It wasn't all about the team. Scott, Saunders' loyalty was so commendable. It's a sad way to end his time in college. Hopefully he heals up and is able to get his career back underway.
Well, I don't see why that wouldn't happen.
As a 4-year guy in an era where there's a lot of people going to 3 and sometimes even 4 schools in 4 years, he stands out. So, Russell, I think I'm done too. Richie's my favorite player since Jimmer.
Okay.
So
we got no problem with that. He's a fun guy to watch. He is slight of built, but he has a bulldog mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, I was thinking about this when it happened, that he's been extremely durable and he throws his body all over the place. And for a 200-pounder, he's a tough kid. And he'll go run through that wall if that's what it took. And so from that perspective, I'm surprised he hasn't suffered some more injuries on that, the way he plays. And it's an absolute shame. And it is, we can keep describing it, but it's not going to change. And it sucks on every level. Literally, every possible level, this is the ultimate downer. And I'm not concerned about his future, because I think his future will be what it is, with or without this injury. It's the immediacy. What's lost in the immediacy that can't get returned. I mean, the fact is, he can make good money playing basketball on this planet. Hopefully for him, it's the NBA. And Kevin Young knows way more about what an NBA player is than I'll ever know.
And he pronounced him an NBA guy.
And he pronounced it before last season even began.
Yep.
So I believe in Kevin Young's ability to tell us what an NBA player is.
And to your point, even if he doesn't make it in the NBA, or if he's only in the NBA for a few years, there's still plenty of places to make a lot of money and see the world.
Right.
As plenty of players before him have done.
He'll have a great life. He's a winner. So the long term, I have no doubt he can achieve what he's capable of achieving. It's just in the short term, what has been stripped of him, that is awful, and I feel awful for that. It's all about the short term, because he can get back on his feet literally and do what he's capable of doing, and hopefully for him, that's an NBA roster if that's his ultimate desire, which most of the kids, that's what it is. And there'll be people will take a chance on him. There's no maybe it knocks him off from being a second-round pick.
But it'll still end up in somebody's camp. There's still 2-way roster spots. There's a way to play your way in.
Right. It may not happen next season because he may not be available. That's what.
It'll slow everything down, but it doesn't have to stop it.
No, but he can never get this back. But this. I'm excited to see what Kevin Young and those 14 assistants have up their sleeves to be able to show us what they can. And I believe that this is Kevin Young's opportunity. Not that he needs to prove it, but to show, hey, I got this. I'm really good.
There were a lot of guys he was really excited about last summer who haven't produced much this year. Now, maybe that's on them, maybe it's on him, maybe a little bit it's on both of them, but it's plenty of time to figure out. There have been enough practices, there have been enough games, and now there's going to be enough minutes. There's going to be big opportunities. There's just going to be more doubling of the star players. There's going to be more help. There's going to be a chance there. And it doesn't matter if you're a guy who can spot up and shoot threes. Your chances will be there. And if you're a big guy, learn to move, cut. You ought to be able to get layups and dunks. It's going to be there. I mean, teams are going to be doing anything to stop Rob Wright from getting his 30-plus points.
Yeah,
and
good luck.
Now they've got 3, 4, 5 weeks to figure it out and show it. So, and it may be tough to show it this first night against Arizona, but maybe not. I mean, Yock's going over their injury list. Injuries are only something that happens to our team. The other team is always full strength.
No,
We've learned anything at college, pro, it doesn't matter the sport.
The other team's
whatever.
always 100%. Yeah.
That's why I'm not caught up in the immediate results. I do think it's unfortunate that the schedule gives them the 2 toughest back-to-backs right off the bat. I would have liked for them to have a game or two to
they've
get
got
their feet
UCF
wet,
at
that
home,
that
and
type of stuff.
It's too bad that's not the next one, but that's a week away.
Right. They're thrown in the fire immediately. That does cause me a little level of concern. And though they haven't had the signature win, blah, 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 I would have liked them have at least a week to be prepared. But they don't. I'm excited for this Kostic kid, or Kostic, to see what he can do. He hit a big shot the other day, and Boscovich has gotten a little bit of playing time. Well, now you can get more. And you can shoot. You're 6'10". And, Kennard Davis, man, maybe instead of just being a stand-in-the-corner guy, you can go take it to the hoop. You got a good body.
Yep.
You appear to be strong. Maybe they can. That's where Kevin Young now is really going to earn his money. And I have faith in Kevin Young to be able to coach up a good team.
He's leaned really heavily on the ISOs. And it's a lot of guys trying to beat people one-on-one. And I know it bugs people. I've seen all the stuff on social media, and they scored 99 points against Baylor, and they scored 90 against Colorado. They did have the overtime to get there. So it's not like the offense is totally bogged down. But I do wonder if we're going to see some new wrinkles now and create opportunities for, when AJ and Wright have gone one-on-one for 5 possessions, is there suddenly going to be a back screen and somebody you don't expect cutting to the hoop and trying to get an easy bucket or get fouled. And if they're in close games, it'll be interesting to see which of these guys can hit free throws, because it'll be that whole game of cat and mouse, and BYU will be trying to keep the ball in the hands of their 2 stars. The other teams will be trying to foul whoever else gets the ball and make any of those guys shoot free throws.
Well, that means they're in a position to even be there.
That means
so that's good.
That means they have a lead, right? Yeah. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone coming up. We'll talk more about BYU basketball with Mark Durrant at 9 o'clock. Mike Folta is here to talk Olympic hockey and Utah Mammoth at 8 o'clock. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whirls around and down. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Don't miss your chance to win big every week on the KSL Sports Zone. This week, you can win tickets to see Post Malone with special guest Jelly Roll and Carter Faith at Rice Eccles Stadium on July 28th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com, or listen to KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. All right, PK, we got the question up on our Facebook page. How did the people like that new All-Star format? Did that work for you? Ryan, the All-Star game was on?
It was.
Didn't even sample it. Brandon, it was great until the final game. Ha-ha, the OGs were gassed. Laughing, cried emoji. Melody says I didn't get to watch all the rounds, but I enjoyed the ones I saw. Matthias called it much, much better.
I think it was much, much better. Now, I was locked down on the golf, the Pebble Beach tournament, but you can flip back and forth a little bit, especially on that 18th hole, Morikawa. The one dude's on the beach, literally. It's like 20 minutes. Get on with it. My goodness.
Well, he's headed back into the water. Yeah.
Where's the Marshall?
Then it hits the rock, and he ends up, classic, ends up only with a bogey after all that. So there was, and Morikawa hits a second shot, and then he jokes, not bad for 30 minutes.
Yuck.
There was a lot of dead time, and he needed to make a birdie, and it was a par 5, so it was a good chance he was going to make it, and he did, and he won. So there was a lot of dead time there, and I'm flicking back and forth. And I didn't understand the format. I'm not sure that I still fully understand it, but each time I watch, and who cares who wins? It's irrelevant. But each time I flick back, they were playing much harder, and that was good enough for me.
Think that was the format or some new personalities?
I have
Wemby's
no
getting
idea.
a lot of credit for it.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I couldn't figure it out either.
I'm not interested in the format.
But it was across the board. I thought that everyone thought, hey, there's more effort this year, which is a pretty low bar, but nonetheless, that's where we are.
Right. So from that perspective, in terms of effort, I thought it was substantially better. I mean, they weren't all out, but I didn't expect an all out. They used to go all out. I tell the story we're in Phoenix, and my father worked weekends. He had off. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. And I said, hey, Dad, the All-Star Game's in Phoenix. Can we go tonight? And he would have literally given whatever he has to give to me. And yeah. So we drive down there, the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. They don't play there anymore. Still State Fairgrounds. The building is still there. And we park. We walk right up, buy tickets, nosebleed, but it's not that big. So it's not.
You're not that far away.
Right. And they played the game, and I was in heaven. And I still have the program.
Nice.
Yeah.
The collector's item.
I found it. Yeah.
Is it all dinged up, or might it be worth something?
I don't know if it's worth. I don't have that entrepreneurial spirit that you people were born with. So
you people.
Yeah. I'm a working stiff.
How about that, Yak? That was good on multiple levels, didn't you think?
He's got to play up to a certain role.
There's 2 or 3 jokes buried in there. If you peel the layers of the onion back.
He's playing to his role.
And he didn't know he was going there, so that was good.
Yeah, as usual, the joke's on me. So that was really cool, and they played hard. And one of my childhood idols was playing, Walt Frazier. Watched him every game when I was a kid.
Because you're in Arizona and you're missing all those games that you used to watch for free in New York. You couldn't get them.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, there he is in the flesh right in front of you.
Yeah. Now, I had been to the Garden to watch him play before.
Which is really why All-Star Games became so popular, that phenomenon right there. This chance to get to see your guy you don't get to see very often and see your guy go against other top guys. Mm-hmm. And now it's such a cool era with technology. I mean, every league's got league passes and tickets and stuff, and there's way more national TV games.
But I was jacked up to see that game.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they played hard back then, and it was a weeknight. And I thought I was in heaven. I knew nothing different. Now it's not the case, but at least they tried. Now, I believe, did I see a tweet from you? You want the All-Star Weekend eliminated.
Get rid of it. Who cares? I mean, they're complaining about back-to-backs and player management. There's a bunch of days. Just keep playing.
You want it eliminated.
The NFL got rid of it, and we're all good.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of difference there.
There's more contact. There's more injuries. But these guys still, and they got a point, they don't want to get hurt in a game that doesn't matter, and the game doesn't matter. And it was cool they played harder, and I think that across the board they're getting credit for that.
Well, I mean, yeah, again, in the 70s, they played hard and nobody got hurt.
Michael, for me, the All-Star Weekend is a joke. Now the only thing I like to watch is the three-point contest.
Well, then it's not a joke.
You're still watching.
For 30 minutes.
You're still watching.
Yeah, but if it's a joke, then you don't participate, and you just told me you participate.
He doesn't like the game and doesn't like the dunk contest, and he's probably not there for the celebrity game.
Is that really that big of a deal that we're going to criticize the NBA for having a celebrity game
I think
of basketball?
once they've stopped the whole league for a week, they might as well have their Rising Stars game and they might as well have their celebrity game or whatever. At that point, if you don't want to watch it, just don't. The league's already stopped down, so there you go.
Yeah, I think the time off refreshes these guys, and now they see the home stretch.
The dunk contest, I get why it generates a little bit of frustration because the dunks in basketball are so awesome in games, and when the dunk contest started, star players did it. They loved doing it. They excelled at it. And part of the reason we watch sports is we do like to watch people do stuff we can't do. And then when they have so much fun, there's so much joy as they do it, we feed off of that. In the early days, it had it, and now it doesn't. The star players largely don't want to participate.
Because they don't need to.
No,
they
don't.
needed to promote the league. They weren't getting $10 billion TV contracts.
There it is. And there weren't so many players making
Talk to old-time Jazz
money.
season ticket holders. They had much more interaction. Some guy told me he had Stockton over for dinner.
Wow.
Yeah. Back when, because the players weren't making that kind of dough, and so there was there was an interaction. Now it's all cordoned off.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they are protected from the fans at every turn.
Right.
They've got the building to go to, so they're in it all day. The town's bigger, so it's harder to interact with everybody. The town used to be smaller. It was easier to interact with a higher percentage of the town. And the things that they built in, the autograph lines and that stuff all went away 10 or 15 years ago.
Is the town bigger or is the population bigger?
The whole thing.
The town has grown?
Yes. There's stuff out in the desert you've probably never even driven to.
But what town then?
Yuck, what's a town on the other side of Lake Mountain?
You're talking about
Lake Mountain? I don't even know there was a Lake
Eagle Mountain?
That's part of it. What?
Eagle Mountain?
Yes, thank you, Eagle Mountain.
But that's that town. It's not our town.
There's Jazz fans out there, PK.
Right. But that town has grown.
They have no interaction.
So then the towns have grown.
Yes, the towns
The Carl
have grown.
Anthony Towns have grown.
Just random association. Keep it coming.
He's a Jersey guy.
When we come back, we will check in with Mike Folta, radio voice of the Utah Mammoth. 1 week down, 2 to go on the Olympic break. Mike, or is it 2 weeks down and 1 to go? How far away are we?
I think it's 2 down, 1.
We're about halfway. I think
okay.
They're
That's
back
why
on
I'm
the
struggling.
25th. So we're
math is hard. All right, Mike Folta, Mammoth radio voice, joins us coming up right after the break. Stay with us. DJ PK, and we're joined by Mike Folta, Utah Mammoth radio voice. His appearance brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Love being introed to that music, by the way. I feel like I should have a gold medal in between my teeth or something like that. But been enjoying watching the Winter Olympics so far and ready for some of the big elimination games in hockey to get going here.
Group play's all done. The U.S. sails through 3 wins in 3 games, plus 11 in goal differential, just dominating. Do you see, you just said a gold medal in your teeth, do you see Clayton Keller biting a gold medal in a photo a few days from now?
Well, that's I guess the big question, and it's not just the U.S. and Canada, right? I think that's what we're all looking forward to. That's what we all want to see. These two rival countries go head-to-head in a best-on-best setting like what we have in the Olympics. There are some other good teams in this tournament. You have a really good Sweden team that the U.S. could potentially have to play on Wednesday. The Americans will play the winner of Sweden and Latvia. You've got, a Czech team that has some good goaltenders that could get hot, but really none of these other teams have showed the type of dominance that the U.S. and Canada has had. And so it feels like we're on a U.S.-Canada collision course, which is, of course, what we all want. The Americans haven't looked as dominant as the Canadians have. Boy, you look up front for Team Canada, they've got Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon and this 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini kid who's not scared of anything and is tied for the league or tied for the tournament lead in goals. He's been fantastic. And Crosby, like the Americans can't necessarily match the Canadian firepower up front, but I think the Americans have the better goaltending situation and probably some more dynamic defensemen as well. So that'll be a great matchup. I don't think we've seen Team USA play its best yet. I think they're still coming together, and hopefully they can before that gold medal game.
Keller had a couple of games he didn't play, then got in there. From your perspective, you think he's comfortable with what's going on? I mean, he's a younger guy, but he's not that young.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like in an all-star situation like this where everybody's good. It's tough when you're used to being the top guy on your team, used to being the captain, the leader of the Utah Mammoth, and you go to Team USA and you're just another one of this group of great players. Now, we actually did just a few minutes ago see some reports online from some reporters who were there in Milan saying that Keller is taking line rushes with the third line again at practice. So that typically means that he's practicing with a group that's getting ready to play.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's going to be playing in this next game on Wednesday, a quarterfinal game between the winner of Sweden and Latvia. So that's good news for Mammoth fans who want to see Clayton Keller play. He played the other day against Germany. I thought he looked good. Didn't have any points, but played alongside Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres and Dylan Larkin, the captain of the Detroit Red Wings. And I thought was really strong. Made some good plays in the offensive zone. Made some clean reads in the defensive zone to help break the puck out. The Americans were never under too much fire in that game against Germany. But I thought Keller played well enough to earn another chance, and it looks like he's going to get it.
Peterka had an assist in the 5-1 U.S. win over Germany. He got an assist on the German goal. What about the other guys in the Olympics? What do you think of their Olympic experiences, and what do you expect going forward?
Yeah, I think J.J. Peterka for Team Germany has been the most impactful of the Utah Mammoth who are playing at the Olympics right now. He's had a few assists. He's playing along with Tim Stützle. Those are probably the second and third best German forwards in the world right now, with Leon Draisaitl being the best. But Peterka is playing alongside his old buddy Stützle. Those two played together back in World Juniors for Team Germany, and they've been really effective together. Stützle's been really, really dynamic for Team Germany, and Peterka has helped him do so. So that's been encouraging to see. He actually scored a goal this morning, J.J. Peterka, against France, with the winner of Germany and France playing Slovakia, I believe, on Wednesday. But JJ's been good. We've seen Olli Mata play third pair minutes for Team Finland. And guys, funny enough, we haven't seen Karel Vejmelka for Team Czechia at all yet. And they're playing Denmark right now, and it looks like he's not going to be in the game again, which the Czechs have three good goaltenders. Lukáš Dostal of the Anaheim Ducks, Dan Vladar has been good for the Philadelphia Flyers this year. But you're talking about a guy in Karel Vejmelka who leads the NHL in wins right now, and he hasn't gotten in a game for the Czech Republic. And that's surprising because the Czechs let in quite a few goals the first two games they played. So I honestly don't know why we haven't seen him. If I worked for the Mammoth PR department, which I don't, but if I did, I would be spinning it as, yeah, the guy who's played the most games as a goalie in the last year is getting some rest, and the Mammoths are going to be able to lean on that over the last 25 games of the regular season. But I really expected to see Veggie at some point for Team Czechia, but not so yet.
Well, you know what the Czechia doctors say, no veggies, no good for you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I knew you were bilingual, PK. I just didn't know it was Czech that you could speak as well.
Yeah, sure. What do you need? You talk about them getting rest or him getting rest for when the season resumes. What's the plan as far as when they reconvene? Is it like a little mini camp? What you know what's going to happen?
Well, practices have started already. This today, actually. Practice starts today. So some of the guys have been skating for a few days already now. These guys need some time off to shut it down, but they don't like to be off the ice that much during the season. So, like, I know a few of the guys went to some sunny places and shut it down for a few days, but I saw a couple of the guys in the airport like when I got back on Thursday, and they're like, "Yeah, we're skating here pretty soon." So practice starts today for the guys who are not with the Olympic teams, of course. And then even before that, guys were getting on the ice, just kind of feeling it out a little bit and getting back to work. And everybody knows what's at stake for this Mammoth team. Playoffs is still the expectation, but it's not going to be easy to stay in this playoff spot that they have. There's a bunch of teams around them that that are within striking distance, within a game or two of knocking the Mammoth out of that playoff spot. And Utah has to be really on its toes once we restart the season. And any lapse could be a death knell against your playoff hopes. So we're starting practice again today for everybody besides those at the Olympics and for me. I'm taking the optional, and I'm back home again in Indiana, as we say, getting some more R&R, as us broadcasters like to do. But practice starts today. And guys, remember this, too. We were talking about Vejmelka. Last year, Karel Vejmelka started, I believe it was 23 of the last 24 games of the season. Or I think it was 24 of the last 25. He started 23 straight at one point to end the season. So the Utah Hockey Club last year leaned on him down the stretch of the season when they were trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs. I don't know if we're going to see that type of workload again this year, but in the last 25 games of the season, I think heading into that, it's a good thing for Veggie to get some rest during this Olympic break and not have to face 40 shots a game like you would if he was playing against Team Canada or Team U.S.
This is, for most of this generation, this is the first chance they've had a chance to play in the Olympics. It's been so long since the NHL sent there. And obviously, whenever leagues let their players go do stuff internationally, we've heard NBA owners talk about this too, there's a risk of injury, and it can impact the playoff race. And one of the teams, because it's like six or seven teams for 3 or 4 spots, however you want to count it up in the West, one of the teams that Utah's battling is the LA Kings, and the Kings lose Kevin Fiala. He's stretchered off the ice. It's a broken leg, and he's like their second leading scorer. He's basically been a 25-goal, 40-assist guy for them over the last couple of years. So is this the kind of thing teams are going to want to do, or are people going to, the owners who don't want to do this and the people in the Players Association who don't want to do this are going to look at this and say, hey, this is exactly why we shouldn't be doing this. Let's not do this again. Or has the rest of the tournament been so good that people are going to want to do it again in 4 years? And more importantly, in 8 years when the games are here?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like the owners and the general managers hate it, right? Because a guy gets hurt, and what do they get? They get nothing. It just hurts their chances. Now, in the Kings' case, they lose Kevin Fiala, who right now is their second leading scorer. He's done for the rest of the year. Good news for the Kings is that they just traded for Artemi Panarin from the New York Rangers, and he's one of the best goal scorers, one of the best players in the NHL right now. And so they're not made whole by losing Kevin Fiala necessarily, but they've got an even better player coming in to add to their roster after the Olympics. So it's not all doom and gloom in Kingsland right now down in LA. But you're right. Like the owners and GMs hate it. It happened last year where Matthew Tkachuk got injured for Team USA and missed basically the last portion of the regular season. He got injured in 4 Nations. And then came back in the playoffs. Charlie McAvoy got banged up at the 4 Nations and was hurt for Boston. So this stuff happens. It happens, especially in the high leverage games when you're going, what to the wall, trying to win a medal for your country. And I think the allure of the Olympics is just so big because it's such a big deal for the players. Like the players are going to fight tooth and nail for this. And it's such a big deal for the sport, too. Like, it's good for the sport, especially with this Olympics in Milan. And you think of how the U.S. has been trying to grow the game in Europe. Like, the NFL has these international games, right? They're going to Australia. They're going to they go to Mexico. They go to places where they're trying to grow the game. The NHL has done this, too. They've done it with Germany. They've done it with Sweden. They've made it a point to bring the NHL game to Europe to try and strengthen hockey roots over in that part of the world. And so especially this year where you're in Italy and you can try and strengthen these hockey fan bases in Europe, like it's a slam dunk from the league office point of view. It's just not maybe something the owners are going to see like that direct return on investment from right away. And that sucks when you're second best player goes down due to injury. But fingers crossed we don't have any more big injuries the rest of the way. It is, I will say too, the international game, like when it's controlled by the IIHF, the International Hockey Federation, it's still physical, but it tends to be a little bit less physical. Now, I think playing on an NHL-sized rink, like if we get U.S.-Canada, that's going to look like an NHL game and then some with the physicality. But for the most part, these games are not as physical as NHL playoff games. The international game just isn't necessarily played that way. Like they don't allow fighting, stuff like that. So it is a little different, but yeah, owners hate it. Everybody else, we love it.
Now, Indiana, I mean, it's a screwy state. Let's just call it like it is, right? I mean, you've got multiple time zones in the same state. I mean, what the heck is that? So I don't know where you are. You just said you're in the state. So are you going to be doing anything today, either at 5:30 or 6:30? That's important to you?
6:30 Eastern time, I will be in section 113 of Mackey Arena, home to my Purdue Boilermakers. We have the number one ranked team for now in the land, marching into the Holy Land, marching to Tippecanoe County and Mackey Arena. And I don't believe Purdue has ever beaten a number one team, which is crazy to me. But this is a great chance for us against the Michigan Wolverines tonight. So I am going to be I'm going to be an alum. I'm going to be a big man on campus. I'm going to be taking in some great college basketball. And then on Wednesday, getting ready for a quarterfinal game, U.S. against the winner of Sweden-Latvia. So it's a great sports week, a great start to the sports week here in the Midwest. But
sweet,
kind of climbing the walls a little bit, guys. Like just ready for – like, because all these games in Milan, they start at noon Mountain Time, and then they're done. And then, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my day? Right?
Well,
no NHL.
Tonight you can root against Kyle Whittingham's favorite college basketball team.
What if he's there? What if he's there just to get a look at some of these other Big Ten campuses?
Well, just bump him and say, "Get out of the way. You ain't much."
We're too Hoosier nice for that. We're too Midwest nice for that.
Well, go Boilermakers.
That's right. We say boiler up, PK, but that's close.
Okay, well, and Mike Folta, you stay away from those co-eds, okay?
I will be. I'll be at the alumni bar after, so nothing too crazy.
Mike, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Folta, radio voice of the Utah Mammoth, joining us right here on The Zone. All right, coming up, Mark Durrant's going to join us at 9 o'clock, BYU basketball radio analyst. Where do the Cougars go from here? No Richie Saunders. What can they do without him? How can they replace him? We'll talk with him about that coming up at 9 o'clock. Right after the break, it's Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday. We'll give away a pair of tickets to see the Jazz and the Pelicans on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Gail Miller always used to use the word stewardship. I used to hear that a lot. And I like that kind of concept because sports franchises do mean more than just businesses. They mean more to the community. They mean more to the members, all the things than just businesses.
Sure.
We're not doing restaurant talk radio at kslrestaurant.com.
Right.
People are passionate. They're loyal. It hits different. And I do think that you owe it to your fans to run it correctly. That doesn't mean you have to rattle off a zillion championships.
No, of course not.
That doesn't mean that you have to have ultimate success all of the time. That doesn't mean any of that. That means that you kind of owe it to be a good representation of the community. So many people, the only thing they know about Cleveland is their joke football team.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK. It's a Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Win a pair of tickets to watch the Utah Jazz take on the New Orleans Pelicans February 26th at the Delta Center. Call right now, 801-575-ZONE. And DJ PK brought to you in part by University of Utah Health. At University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. Question of the morning, PK, and we're going to get back to this at 9 o'clock with Mark Durrant. BYU, now what? Richie Saunders is done for the season with an ACL injury. Are the Cougars done too? Obviously, it sucks for him. He doesn't get to play in the NCAA tournament. This is his fourth and final year. They're in the Sweet 16. There were high hopes. You work on it all year, and now he's going to miss the best month of the season. With an ACL, obviously, he'll miss more than that, and we'll see how this impacts him getting ready for his pro career. The Cougars, are they done too? And we talked about this in the 7 o'clock hour, but for those of you joining us here at the 8 o'clock hour, the attitude has to be no. It's still a rare opportunity. You're still sitting here with two elite players, and now which guy on the bench emerges? And your big thing, and I don't even really disagree with this, is now they get a chance, an opportunity they have not been afforded. Kevin Young has decided in practices and in small segments in games that they weren't good enough to get minutes, but now there's, Saunders has been playing 35 minutes a game. So somebody's got to get a chance.
Well,
can they deliver?
There's a little bit of a history here. We go back 15 years. Later in the season, Brandon Davies gets taken away.
Yep.
And I think that kept them out of the Final Four.
It's not a reach.
I'll go to my grave because I covered all those games.
It was a Sweet 16 loss. They barely lost in Sweet 16.
It was overtime, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And then it
was a weaker regional.
And the next game was also a nail-biter. There was very little difference in that region.
But they got to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And Jimmer was the player of the year. And I think DeBonce has a chance to be the player of the year. I don't know that he'll put up the stats because you have Rob Wright there. So is this team better than that team? They have higher top-end talent. Jimmer had an incredible run, obviously.
The pieces of the puzzle really fit around Jimmer.
Well,
but then they lost a big piece of the puzzle.
That's up to the coach to make sure the pieces fit.
Yeah.
And so you've got some guys who have been not utilized, whether you want to go underutilized, okay, that's up to you. But you've got, to me, 4 guys that really stand an opportunity. And actually you can argue 6 because you can go Rob Wright and AJ. That they'll, as crazy as it sounds, I'll need more out of you guys. Right?
That's not crazy. Yeah. I get they were already getting a lot, but that's literally what happened in Colorado. Right. Rob Wright had just set his career high, and then he goes out and resets his career high.
Yeah, and he should be playing with the most confidence that he's ever played in his entire life.
Nobody's staying in front of that guy.
Right. And if he's hitting outside shots, I'll throw around, not quite, because I don't really like the word, but I'll approach it, and that's unguardable. And particularly if he finds ways to finish at the basket. And he's been using the left hand a little bit more and using angles a little bit more.
He's he's not afraid to create contact and get to the line. Right. We saw that.
Right. And so he's playing, obviously, at an extremely high level. And AJ is still AJ, and he's really, really good, right? And then you got the 2 guys up front that are bangers. And Kevin Young talked about it after the game the other night, that he needs more out of Keita. And he's got a hand injury, but you should be able to catch the ball. You're there for rebounding and defense and screens and whatnot and lobs, and that's not going to change. And we know they've got, what do they call him, Beto, whatever it is.
Beto.
And so I thought he played probably his best game against Colorado. All right, so you got those guys. But the way I look at it, Boscovich, Kostic, Maup, and Russ.
Boop.
No, I'm going Maup.
Okay.
I like Maup better. It gives him a little bit more authority. Maup.
How about more of Kennard Davis Jr., who's got to play a lot, but kind of a decoy standing in the corner. Sometimes he gets the ball, sometimes he doesn't, because a lot of times he's the 4th option out there.
Yeah.
They played him 39 minutes.
Right.
That's a long time. I know it's an OT game, so it was 39 out of 45.
I don't want to take away from what he brings on the other end and his junkyard dog nature. If he's got enough energy to give me some offense, more offense, okay. But I like his toughness.
But I thought you were right earlier this morning. I was trying to tee you up to make the point you made earlier.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about standing in the corner. I want to see him be more aggressive, take it to the
That's what I wanted you to say. That's what I'm trying to tee you up for. Yes, I totally
agree. But the
agree
other
with that
guys, they seem to be brought in for that specifically. I thought from an offensive standpoint, because of the overpowering nature of the big three, Davis was pretty much forced to stand in the corner.
I get it.
Well, now, okay, so, but I don't want him to be using a ton of energy that he can't use on the other end.
I get it.
If he has enough energy to do that offensively, yes. I thought he was miscast offensively as just a stand in the corner, shoot threes guy.
It just comes down to you want so many shots for DeBonsa and you want so many shots for Wright, you want so many shots for Saunders, and a lot of time, whether he's told or whether he just feels it or whether it's a combination of the two, a lot of times you get the ball and he just move it to the next guy, which isn't bad when you're out there on the court with those other three guys. Right. And now you're going to be out there with two guys, and there is more of an opportunity, especially if the defense, and I think we're going to see more of this, just makes sense, that coaches are going to look at BYU now and say, we can't let DeBonsa or Wright beat us. They're going to decide to take one of those guys away, and when defenses are moving all that, that is one of the best times to attack the hoop. Yeah. A guy's moving one way, you drive the other way, and he's athletic.
If
he's
he can
tough.
do it.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to do it a lot, but I think he can get some layups, and I think he can get himself to the free throw line.
And that's important because he's shooting like 36% and 28%. Mm-hmm. I think he's been miscast there, and it's a little bit unfair. But now he has an opportunity, and maybe he is the most logical one to fill some of the void. I don't know that any individual is going to replace the void.
Nobody. I don't believe that.
Maybe he is the leader of these other guys to be able to do that. So that's why I am not willing to just cast this season aside and say, oh, injuries got in the way. Because maybe you have to adjust expectations. And if you do get to the Sweet 16 in this circumstance, then maybe that is your ceiling. And, it'll be a what-ifer, as it is 15 years later with the Cougars, with the Brandon Davies situation. But, that's the facts of life, and there's probably some other teams who can say what-ifs too, and you just got to roll with it. That's part of sports. Davies wasn't an injury, and it was an unfortunate situation, obviously, whereas Saunders is an injury. We understand that. But you can still play that game. But let's see how far you can go. In a sense now, especially this week, everybody and their dog's expecting these guys to go 0-2. Everybody. Dudes, you're never going to be presented with an underdog. Imagine you being the number one pick, getting several $1 million to play college basketball, and now the whole world's doubting you.
It's an unusual situation.
Yeah.
Right. But
that's kind of cool.
It's a 40-minute game. The three-point shot's wildly unpredictable. DeBonsa, man, when he is on, he's just awesome. I think he's really good when he's not. I thought he was really good against Colorado, and he clearly wasn't on.
Well, his shot didn't fall as much.
His shot didn't fall, and, there were some clearly he was frustrated by some of the no calls. And
he's got to get over that, man. Play through that. I'm getting a little bit concerned about throwing up the arms and looking at the ref. Because
it doesn't make refs want to give you calls.
And that immediately puts you a step or two behind on the defensive
100%.
end. Let Kevin Young can work the refs. He's a pro. He literally is a pro.
Coaches know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was one, man, where he ran out. I thought he was going to get teed up there towards the end of the game. But that's fine, man. That's his job. His job is to work the referees. That's part of the deal.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
He got to midcourt very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
He
must have been, when he was playing point guard for Chattanooga or wherever he played, he must have had some quicks.
Yeah.
Because he's like 44 years old, man. He moved. His lateral was nice.
It was good.
But that's fine. It's an emotional game, and he's the leader. And the thing about it, the good thing about him, he's not constantly whining about the referees. He's not going nuts all the time.
No, you got to pick your spots.
Yeah, and I think he does a really good job of doing that.
And I also think that working the referees can be super subtle. we all see it when the coach stomps on the court or the player throws up his arms.
Yeah.
But when you wait for the next dead ball and you walk over next to him and then you tie your shoe, even though you don't need to tie it, and meanwhile you're working the ref, either you're barking at him or you're like, okay, dude, I'm not mad, but you owe me one. That was, you're not mad. And Stockton did that stuff all the time. And I didn't know it. Watching games on TV, he never showed people up. He had a lot to say, but he picked his spots later when the camera wasn't on him.
Yeah, I think you can get away with that at the pro ranks.
Yeah.
More so. The college ranks, they don't want to hear it.
But I still see sometimes I see refs interacting with star players like they want to be buddies and all that. And they will appreciate it if you talk to them about it when the camera isn't on and you're not super personal and not super hot.
Well, we used to sit right behind the bench, and they were playing New Mexico and Steve Cleveland. And the fouls were like 6-1, and it was like we didn't even get to the first media timeout. And I can remember the referee, and I know his name, and I won't say it. He said, "All right, take it easy. We're still early in this game."
Like, then you look at the halftime stats.
yeah, we'll get you. And he just said it to him. It's like, just a matter of fact.
And it was in Albuquerque?
No, it was here.
Oh, it was here. Okay, home game.
Yeah, because in Albuquerque, you don't sit right behind the bench.
Okay.
You don't sit there right behind the bench now anyway.
So he's at a home game, and it's like.
Yeah. It was an inordinate amount right off the bat.
Yeah.
And so he says something to him. Come on.
Yep.
And he said, okay, relax. We're just barely getting started here. It'll basically say, we will even it out without saying we will even it out. But I heard him, and that was the message. And so having Kevin Young do that, but this is a phenomenal opportunity. It sucks on every level that Saunders will be denied an opportunity that he can never get back the rest of his life. But with that in mind, this is a great opportunity for these other guys. If I'm going to practice today, because they tell us they don't practice on Sunday, or I guess today's Tuesday since we had off yesterday, and they could have practiced yesterday, and I'm sure they did. That if I'm we just mentioned 5 guys. 5 guys we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
5 guys.
Each and every one of them has an opportunity now that wasn't there Saturday morning. And now it is. What are you going to do about it? I believe that, and this is across life, one of my core philosophies, if you work your butt off in whatever you're doing, you will get an opportunity to do something that you really want to do. Meaning, if you're at a lower level, and I've seen this, it drives me nuts. Guys, well, I want to be on air. All right, well, work your butt off in whatever you're doing right now. That's how you move up. And so you have this opportunity, each of these guys, to move up the pecking order. This is a golden opportunity. And you're all on scholarship because Kevin Young thought you were good enough. And Kevin Young, who coached many years in the NBA and has the recommendations literally of Hall of Famers. So he thought you were good enough. Now here's your opportunity to show it. This is a great situation at the expense of a horrible situation for a number of guys. And I am anxious and eager to see what they can do. I'm both.
People tend to use the word anxious incorrectly. And PK's kind of made a deal of that over the last 20 years.
Yes.
But you're stepping into it right now.
Right. But I do have some anxiousness about it. Are they capable? Because they have been essentially buried now for 2/3 of the season. But what can you do? And this old Kostic's kid, who is he? I'm not even going to attempt to figure it out. But he's come in limited time and hit a couple of big shots.
And now the time will be less limited. You have 5 guys off the bench. 5 guys. Now on a burger. Getting between 14 and 23 minutes of playing time. That's enough time to impact the game. Make some plays. Whether it's scoring, rebounding, defending, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time
Passing,
to impact the game.
Screening.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Diving on the floor.
And it tends to be if you do all those other things, then when you get the shots, you're way more likely to make them. I had a coach once who said you have to lose yourself in the game. You have to be so obsessed with the defending, the diving on the floor, the screening. Then when the shot comes, then you're just in the flow of the game. You don't think about it. If you're running up and down the court, not doing all the other stuff, thinking, I got to be ready when my shot comes, you're just winding yourself up to shoot a line drive and miss it.
And I would view these other guys as competition.
Well, they are.
I'm going to be the one.
There's 3 guys who are playing all the time, and that leaves 7 guys for the other 40, 80 minutes in a game. Yeah. So at least 4, maybe 5 of the 7 guys will play. It's easy to see 1 or 2 guys getting edged out.
And it's not going to be me.
And 2 other guys are going to be the ones the coach looks at and like, I need him on the floor at the end of the game.
I came from around the world, literally, to have this opportunity, and I'm going to seize it.
And there's a lot of timeouts at the end of these big games late in the year, and they'll switch offense for defense. So you might be the guy at one end of the floor, but you got a couple weeks now to prove that you can be the guy at both ends of the floor, and you don't need to be subbed offense for defense because you're competing at both ends. There'll be a lot of free throws and a lot of timeouts at the end of these games.
My prediction is this Kostic kid.
He's going to be the one?
They carry him off the floor tomorrow, Mikhail.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
From 40?
We'll see.
25, okay.
Maybe he does the Ainge thing. He dribbles through 7 guys and lays it up at the buzzer.
Nice. All right, BYU at 4th-ranked Arizona. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, ESPN.
I'm going to watch that game.
And you'll hear it on the radio. Mark Durrant, BYU basketball radio analyst, is here in about 15 minutes. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
This is JJ and Alex.
I got this. I want you to go off a little bit more about how the rebuild is over. A trade like this hits harder when your team has come as far as the Jazz have come, and especially Canton, George.
What the Jazz did today was take a huge leap forward to the point of not only is the rebuild over, this is who we are. We have potentially 3 All-Stars in our starting lineup with young players who have the potential to also become All-Stars, Ace Bailey and whoever they're going to take in this upcoming draft.
Right.
We're not only going to compete and try to make the playoffs next year, we're going to be a force. Take us seriously now. We have a lineup that you must take seriously. We're going to compete at a high level moving forward, and you don't have to worry about all this stuff and all this pain. The pain is gone. Now you're going to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This team's going to be really, really good next year as long as they stay healthy.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 7 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK joins Scotty G Wednesday, noon to 3. Tim Daly Nissan Southtown, 111-55 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. 111 South, 111-55.
Did you see Mark Cuban's tweet?
He's been tweeting a lot lately. Which one?
Why the NBA should embrace tanking.
I did not see that tweet.
This goes to what I said. And by the way, man, I have to you set the record because we're talking about tanking with Locke on Friday. Your first question, Yak and I timed it, was 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
David James. I watched my daughter compete and cheer over the weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
One routine is 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Nice. Well, that was my routine.
That opening question, 2 minutes and 30
I got to go back and listen to it.
Oh, jeez.
I got to go back and listen to that pure genius.
Yeah. I mean, I was refreshed from the minute and a half on because I took a nap.
Cool. I'm glad I could help you out.
That was
I'm a team player.
Forget about San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. Did I present it? I don't even remember it right now. Did I present a theory and then have him comment on it? What happened?
Well, you started in the 80s, and I played it for my wife. I said, listen to me. He starts in the 80s and goes all the way up. And once he went back to the tanking with the Rockets.
You figured I put my feet up?
I settled in.
It was a history lesson. It was a history lesson.
Yeah. So, Cuban, this is what I've said all along. He quotes, when I got into the NBA, they thought they were in the basketball business. They aren't. They are in the business of creating experiences for fans. It's entertainment.
Right.
Fans.
Ryan Smith's totally on board with this. I've heard him talk about it.
Few can remember the score from the last game they saw or went to. They can't remember the dunks or the shots. What they remember is what they want to remember is who they were with. Their family, their friends, a date, blah, blah, blah. That's what makes it a special experience. Fans know their team can't win every game. They know only one team can win a ring. What they care about is their team's record is more than their record is hope. Hope that they will get better, have a chance to compete in the playoffs, and then maybe a ring. Now, he goes on. Tanking isn't the issue. Affordability and quality of game presentation are. The NBA should worry more about for fan experience and tanking. It should worry more about pricing fans out of games and tanking. So the idea of hope, and the NBA wants to take away Jazz fans' hope.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
To you, Adam Silver, and whoever else gets in the way of that.
What did Jim Valano say? Was it Fanabla?
Fanabla?
Fanabla.
Yeah.
Fanabla.
Right, yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. That's the Jazz fans and the team, but mostly the fans who are supporting it and paying and so forth. They haven't had this much hope since the year they lost to the Clippers. That's a fact. And now they have hope. One trade has changed the entire complexion of everything, and combined with keeping the pick and then getting a little lucky in the lottery. And you are ready to go. And the NBA wants to take that away from us?
Yeah.
Screw you and the horse you rode in on. And I don't know if that horse is from Spain or Mexico or wherever.
Cuban is right, and it is on full display depending on what time and where you enter the arena from. But if you enter the main entrance with like the Jazz note and the hockey logo off that corner,
sure, yeah,
right, the number of people,
the northeast,
yes, northeast corner, the number of people between if it's a 7 o'clock start, the number of people between 6:30 and 7 taking photos there is phenomenal. And that is part of the experience. I've walked by that so many times, and I've seen so many people so happy.
I'm sure you've posed for pictures so many times.
No, I really haven't.
Oh, bull.
And that's part of that. It's the whole experience and the memory. The game hasn't tipped off. You're literally not even in the arena, and people are already happy as they step onto the property. And that is the goal. That is why he renovated the arena and built that whole atrium entryway. It's the whole experience. It's why they opened up the arena. You see it when you first walk in, that sense of expectation. You get it when you walk through a tunnel into a baseball stadium, as you go to these stadiums for the first time.
First time I want to walk right into where I can see the field.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that first, and we've all had it. It's that kind of aha walk. And I remember the first time I walked through one of the tunnels into the Rose Bowl. It's for a regular season game. It didn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, I'd seen it on TV so many times, and now I'm there. I'm in Pasadena.
Yeah, I got it.
And it's all experience. There's just so many examples. But the next time you go to a Mammoth game or a Jazz game, you see it right out front. And Ryan Smith's talked about this, so he's on board with that. I just wonder how many other owners in the league are on board with it. I mean, it comes down to other people want that draft pick.
Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, yeah, and I also think that now we're seeing about the overs and unders and gambling and whatnot. Yeah. And some sites are getting beat up on that. Tough. Screw you.
FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yeah.
And Sam Presti in Oklahoma City. We know who's motivated to make noise. No one's complaining about Sacramento sitting 6 out of 7 and Washington sitting there 2 stars.
Keep doing what you're doing.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Mark Durrant, BYU basketball radio analyst. How are the Cougars going to adjust without Saunders? We'll talk with him next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, we are brought to you by University of Utah Health. At University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. We are joined right now by Mark Durrant, BYU basketball radio analyst. Mark, good morning.
Hey, good morning, David and Pat. Always great to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. We need all of your experience and all of your analysis now to get this thing back on track. Cougar fans are wondering how far they can go. Before we look forward, do you want to pay homage to Richie Saunders? That is, so few players play 4 years at one school, and he was 3.5 seasons in and then had that happen.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I love Richie, and you're right. It's becoming more and more rare to see a guy play 4 years. And listen, Richie had opportunity and left a lot on the table to stay at BYU, and he felt like that was best for him and his family. He loves the school, and I love it, so that makes me love him even more. I mean, you can't help but feel that way. And you know, one of the things that's cool about a guy that stays at 4 years, at least for me, is you really get to know him. And I became, I would call Richie a good friend, and his parents, they go on the road trips, and I spend a lot of time with them, and they've become dear friends to me. And so there's a level of investment with those guys that maybe you don't get with some other guys just because they're there longer. And I've gotten to know Richie and just think he's, one of the best people, let alone basketball players. And I have a 17-year-old daughter that loves to go to the games, loves BYU, and her favorite, she told me the other day, her favorite all-time player is Richie Saunders, and Richie took the time to get to know her name. And when a famous college basketball player walks by and says, hey Stratton, how's it going? That means a lot. And so, I'm heartbroken for him. I'm not worried about his basketball career so much because I just know how hard he works. And if he wants something, he's going to work and get it, and he'll get over this injury. But, for BYU's prospects, it certainly is problematic. But aside from that, I'm just heartbroken for Richie and his family. But knowing them like I do, it's a minor speed bump as far as they're concerned. Obviously, it's a tough situation to go through it at this time, but I think in the long run, Richie's going to be more than fine. But just on a personal level for me, as someone who is around the team and has spent a lot of time with Richie, in a lot of ways, it feels like your own kid that's having to go through this, and that's really hard. So I love the Saunders family. I love Richie, and wish them all the best. And it's about all you can say on these kind of moments. And so we'll see what happens with the Cougars going forward. I'm sure you want to talk about that as well. But I think Richie is. I've been doing it for 30 years. I've been watching it for 50, BYU basketball, and Richie's one of the greatest ever as far as people and players.
Yeah, I think the sad part is he'll be what he's going to be at the professional ranks, whether it's overseas, NBA, or a combination of both, but he'll never be able to get back what he's going to miss these next 5-6 weeks, and that's gone forever, and then that's what sucks the most, and so that's so unfortunate. Injuries happen, we know, or situations happen. Jimmer's thing on Saturday was fun for everybody, but we all remember that Brandon Davies wasn't there for the stretch run, and they still went to the Sweet 16. And so the way I look at this is I'm not ruling out another Sweet 16 appearance in Kevin Young's second season. He brought guys in because he thought they can play. This guy is a professional coach who has evaluated and coached pro players, and now he's bringing these guys in, and there's a number of guys who haven't had the opportunity. Now the opportunity presents itself. He's forced, and this may be a little bit of a criticism of Kevin Young, but the bench wasn't developed the way it needed to be for whatever reason. Guys were in and out. It's like, now they know, okay, I've got to play. And this is a great opportunity for guys like Kostic and obviously Boscovich has played, but a couple other guys that can get some time now and have an opportunity to play, and maybe put yourself in that mindset of these guys. They can be a little more relaxed. Hey, I know I'm going to play because he didn't have anybody else. He's got to play me. So he brought me in here because I can shoot or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to seeing 2 or 3 of these guys who haven't been getting any minutes an opportunity now. And so that's why I have a level of confidence that this team could still compete as far as what they've got going. Speak to the guys that have not been the stars and have not been getting consistent time, what this opportunity presents to them.
Yeah, I think you're right on, PK. I mean, you're a lot smarter than you look, man, because I think
which isn't much.
You hit it. You hit it right on. I mean, I've been in both spots where I'm a kind of a sub guy and also then a starter, regular minute guy, and it's a real mindset change for you. You're not playing, oh no, if I turn it over, I'm going to be sitting on the bench in 5 seconds. It's
right.
I'm going to get extended minutes on the floor. I'm important to this team. I can make a mistake and still stay on the floor. And I think you even saw it in that Colorado game. I mean, Maras hits a couple threes, right. Kostic hits a couple. And so I think with that mentality change, that will help. And And I mean, we'll see. I mean, the bottom line is BYU's got maybe the best player in the country, and then a guy that just had 39 Saturday. So you've got two of the best players in the country. But you're right. It's been a weird season with the bench because, like, one game I'll think, oh, well, that guy, that's the guy. Like, Hadim Boop will have an amazing arm. Like, let's go with him. And then he doesn't play the next game. And it's been scattered, and I don't know what's necessarily going on behind the scenes with that. I mean, coaches are with the guys every day and know what are best for the team. But it's right. You're right. It's hard to really develop the Division I collegiate confidence that you need if you don't even know if you're going to get a minute or two in a game. And so, listen, it's let's see if any of these guys can rise to the opportunities. I hate injuries more than anything, but then what an injury means for someone may be an opportunity, and it's certainly an opportunity for guys like Tyler Maras and Alexa Kostic and Mihailo Boskovic, and let's see if those guys can step up to the plate. Now, maybe you can somewhat, like in Colorado, you make some threes, and maybe, Richie makes 3 or 4 threes a game. Maybe you get 3 or 4 threes out of those guys. But what I really worry about losing Richie is just the consistent, relentless effort on defense, the relentless effort on the boards, the leadership. All those things are what I worried. I hope that BYU with AJ and Rob just picking up the slack even more, and then other guys stepping up their games offensively, that maybe you can try and fill in what Richie does offensively. But man, the other things that Richie does, I just don't know that they can really approximate what he put on the floor. So my expectations, to be honest, PK, are a lot lower for this team than a week ago. Even a week ago, they weren't playing particularly well. But with that said, you still got a month to go here. And I do think Kevin Young is a great coach, an experienced coach, and there are opportunities, and you do have two of the best players in the country. So let's not count them out completely. I don't think you are.
No.
And in a tournament setting, it's about matchups, but the room for error certainly is diminished for BYU, and they're going to have guys step up that previously have not done so, and so that's a question mark. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be tough tomorrow night down in Arizona, but they're going to have opportunities to show what they're made of, and if they're resilient and can take advantage of the opportunities that have come, and see if they can come together as a team to find a way to win some games here at the end.
Hard to put this all on one guy because they don't have another Saunders, so it's going to have to be spread around, but I don't know that it's going to be spread around evenly. And it is hard to be the 4th or 5th guy out there on the court. And I think Kennard Davis Jr. has done a good job of moving the ball a lot of times when maybe he could have shot it. But, man, AJ and Rob Wright are over there, and Saunders is over there. Maybe you ought to move the ball. Maybe you ought to throw a lob to Keita. Now is there room for him to not just shoot threes, but to drive the ball. And if he can pass off the dribble, he might really open our eyes. Or am I just dreaming and asking way too much of him?
No, listen. These guys, all these guys have played in, Europe or high-level basketball in some capacity or another. They weren't recruited because they're nice guys necessarily. They have skills, they have abilities, and a lot of times your role is limited to a certain thing, shooting threes or whatever, and you have a lot more breadth of talent than just that. And a guy like Alexa Kostic, I think, is capable. He's actually pretty strong kid and quick. I thought he played terrific defense in that Colorado game, so he can, maybe do some things that you wouldn't think about. You think, well, he's just kind of this 3-point shooter. And Tyler Maras, I watched him last year at Idaho and playing BYU. I thought he was a super hard-nosed guy that could really take it to the rim and do other things. So I think there's more to their games than you think. And Mihailo Boskovic, I think, it's just about kind of reining him in. I think he's got real talent. And so you've got guys that I think have the ability and skill set to really broaden their game and help the team in ways that they haven't before. But like we've been talking about, when it's a minute or two here or there, it's hard to really feel comfortable to do different things than what you're expected to do. But when you're on the floor and you get confidence and you're comfortable, you kind of, the game slows down a little bit for you, then it's your full game that's on display rather than just one or two specific aspects of it.
Specifically against Arizona, it seems like they have 10 guys who are 6'10 and above, right? We'll see who's available because I know they had some injury issues the other day against Texas Tech and the loss of McHale with a couple of the big guys. And we know Wright can get in to the bucket, so not easily, but he has the ability. At the same time, he's shooting 46% from three. So what do you think about maybe having DeBonsa initiate the offense a little bit more and trying to find Wright because he's short, and against those tall guys, against Arizona, he was getting in, but finishing was another issue, and maybe have him spot up because 46% from three, I mean, obviously that's off the charts. So maybe go in that direction. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Again, I think we saw that at Colorado. We've seen it more and more lately. AJ had, I think, 8 assists or something like that against Colorado. And Rob Wright, he started out the season, I thought, I don't know if this guy is going to be a three-point threat because he was not great early, but he has found something, and he just cannot miss from the three-point line. So I think AJ likes to have the ball in his hands. I think, with his size, he can see over the defense. He's a good passer. He can create on his own. So, he's once he starts driving, you watch defenses, like all 5 guys, wherever they're on the floor on defense, are looking at AJ. And they're like, when do I go help? What I'm watching this guy. He demands a lot of attention. So, if he can draw the double or even triple and then pass out of that to open shooters like we've been discussing, Russ and Kostic and others, or Rob Wright. Rob's probably not going to be left alone a lot, but man, he's been so good from the 3-point line, and clearly he can get in the paint. And even against bigger teams, he's been smarter when he does get in the paint, not kind of forcing things as much and making good decisions himself. So I think that's exactly the right way, is kind of let AJ put the ball in his hands, let him be the decision maker, use Rob's talents, and then after that, you're kind of finding for role guys to just step in and make the shots when the shots are there. Tyler Morris and Alexei Kostic should never shoot a contested shot ever. It's good. All things we've been talking about, there's going to be plenty of open shots for them. So wait for those opportunities, take your time, knock down those shots so you can punish teams that try to stop AJ and Rob. But really it's about AJ and Rob doing their thing. And I think that's the right approach for BYU going forward. Get the ball in AJ's hands, let him be a scorer or a distributor as he sees fit, depending on what the defense is going to do to him. Colorado did a heck of a job on him, but because they did a heck of a job on him, Rob Wright gets 39 points. And so, you can make those kind of decisions and see how it develops. Obviously, without Richie on the floor, you're going to have to figure out exactly how you want to do things. And AJ, without having Richie to kick to or take attention from, is it's going to be easier to stop AJ because you can focus more on him. So, I mean, that was a lot of word salad there, but the point is you got to go with the guys that got you there, AJ and Rob, and let them do their thing and put them in the best situation possible for them to succeed. And then we'll just see how it kind of goes forward for BYU without Richie.
You don't get a lot of practice time, and coaches have to decide how to spend it. I think they should spend some time practicing for box and 1, diamond and 1, triangle and 2, because I think they're going to see it. I think that with this injury, I don't see how somebody isn't going to throw that. And I don't know which team, and I don't know when, but they got 6 games. You got to figure they got at least 2 in the conference tournament, another game 2 or 3 in the NCAA tournament. I think they're going to see something like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great coaches. You look at at least the Big 12, it's like a list of Hall of Fame coaches. You got Kelvin Sampson, I mean, go down the list, and Bill Self, and so they've been around long enough. They've played against a lot of good players and know what works. And so you've seen a lot of different approaches to AJ. I thought Colorado actually did about the best job I've seen on him. They had a kid that was tall and pretty quick and kind of stayed on his feet, so he didn't. And of course, he was getting a lot of help too. They would help when he needed it. But so you at this point, AJ's seen pretty much everything. I haven't seen a box and one or triangle and two, and maybe that's what they do now because you're focusing more on stopping one or two guys rather than three. And I wouldn't be surprised. And if you get in the NCAA tournament, it's partly because they have a great coach and people are looking for ways to neutralize what you do best. But hopefully at this point, regardless of what they throw at AJ, he's kind of seen the gambit. Even if they go to like a triangle two and they're doubling him or whatever, I mean, he'll figure it out. But the point is, every game's a challenge when you have that visibility. Top draft pick, in the conversation for National Player of the Year. If I'm a coach, I've got the very first thing, and the first five things I have to do is stop that guy. And they're really good coaches, so you'll see different ways. But if you're that guy, you find a way to play against anything that anybody throws at you. If you're that good, you'll find a way. And even if it's getting somebody else the points, you find a way to if someone's going to throw something at you, they're going to have to give up something. And anyway, I think AJ is remarkable as young as he is to be able to kind of recognize what teams have tried to throw at him and still have had such great success.
I know the goal at the start of the year, everyone talked Final Four. It felt like that really cooled off with the 4-game losing streak, losing 5 out of 6. But don't you think as we sit here right now, there are going to be teams in the Sweet 16 we can't predict, you can't guarantee. Shouldn't the Sweet 16 still be the goal for this team?
I think so. I think they're good enough to do that. And, tournament a lot is about matchups too, and who's hot. But again, I go back to the fact that if you tell me before the season that we're going to have two of the best players in the country on your team, and then you just kind of have to find a way with the other guys, that's rare to have one really good player, and to have two like that is impressive. So I think they can. It's going to be tough at Arizona. I don't have a lot of high expectations, but then you've got Iowa State and Texas Tech, who are obviously awesome, but they're at home, so that's a reasonable prospect, and maybe you get one or two of those, and that would be a huge win. The road games are going to be a challenge at West Virginia and Cincinnati. Nothing's a given for this team now, but if you could find a way to go 500 the rest of the way and win a game or two in the conference tournament, I think you'll have had enough time to kind of figure out what you're going to do post Richie. You've got two of the best players in the country. Who's to say you can't win a few games in the NCAA tournament? But yeah, you're right. I mean, I was all in on Final Four. Maybe I jinxed the guys, but I just loved that team at the start of the year. And so I had super high expectations, and the reality has changed. I mean, they're a different team right now. And so you have to alter your expectations. But I think a Sweet 16 would be awesome, and it is within reach for this team. I mean, we're going to learn a lot about how this team is going to be in the next week or two post Richie. But hopefully, I mean, that's my hope, that they find a way to get right and play well going into the tournament. And in the tournament, who knows what can happen. I mean, you can ride really good players as long as they can, do their thing. And we've seen that many times in the tournament. Somebody gets hot and you can make a little bit of a run, but we'll see. I mean, you're absolutely right. My expectations have lessened, but they're not gone for this team in any way.
Mark, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be listening to you down the stretch here.
All right, my friends. I love you guys. Appreciate all that you do, and always being so kind to me and having me on. So thanks.
Mark Durrant, BYU basketball radio analyst joining us right here on The Zone. It's Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday on the other side of this break. We'll catch you up on everything you missed in this show and give away 2 tickets to see the Jazz and the Pelicans at the Delta Center February 26th. That's right after the break. Stay with us.
Whirls around and down. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it is time for the Slacker Radio Headlines, brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 801-210-6800 or visit the website at TrajanWealth.com. NBA All-Star Weekend in the books. The Utah Jazz will be back Friday night in action on the road in Memphis. After a couple road games, they are home to play the Pelicans twice. And if you want to see the Jazz and the Pelicans, February 26th at the Delta Center. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE, and win a pair of tickets to watch the Jazz and the Pelicans. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. If you don't win now, you can win with Jake and Ben at 10:30 or 11:30 or with Scotty G at 12:30 and all day long, every hour on the half hour. So call right now, 801-575-ZONE. NBA All-Star Game in the books. Golf was the main priority, PK, with Pebble Beach. But you liked more effort. There was noticeably more effort.
Yeah, there was. I had no problem with it. I don't understand the format, and I'm not going to bother.
Because they'll probably change it anyway.
Yeah, but they know they got to do something about it or scrap it. Those are your choices, but not to continue as it has been the last several years, which was virtually, literally unwatchable. And so they did some stuff. They tricked it up, whatever. It's up to the players. The format is irrelevant. It's what are you going to do? Are you going to give some form of effort or not? You guys decide.
If you're not going to give effort, scrap it. Hockey hasn't had an All-Star weekend the last 2 years. They got Olympics this year. They did the Four Nations thing last year. The NFL got rid of it. I don't think it's the end of the world if they get rid of it. It'll give them another week to play and get rid of some more back-to-backs.
But there's no reason to get rid of it. I don't see it. It's a showcase of your sport. And for many years, it was a showcase of your sport.
For many years,
I witnessed it. And why can't you get back? It's not like life has changed so dramatically. In fact, everything is easier. It's never been easier. So they didn't have charters and 42 massage therapists and blah, 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 and they still did it. Yep. So they can do it again.
They did it because they had to, because they didn't make as much money and they had to sell the sport. Now everybody's making a lot of money. That's irrelevant. And the interest just doesn't seem to be there. Now there was a little more this year, and I don't think you're an outlier. I think that's a consensus view of a lot of people that the effort was cranked back up.
Yeah, so
I guess I'm skeptical that it will last, but it could last.
All this back-to-back and blah. They did that before. That's a bunch of crap. They can still do it if they want to do it. It's as simple as turning on a light switch. That's all it is. Hit the thing, and the light comes on.
Play hard.
It doesn't require any form of a brainstorm meeting. Just do it. And I think they should do it. And I would go back to the original
East-West
or whatever. Yeah.
I get the
all-stars who deserve to be there. It should be an honor. MLB, it's an honor to get chosen.
Yep.
And then you go and you play and you have a good time. And MLB interviews guys while they're playing, which they don't normally do, and it's fun. Make it fun. I haven't missed an all-star baseball game in my life, and if I get my way, I will never miss one again.
Right?
Because I enjoy it. It's once a year, and that time it's the summer, and it's, blah, blah, blah. Here, do it. Fans like it. The 2 times they've had it here, fans have loved it. Why would you take something away from the fans? They are your bread and butter. They're your homies.
I think the fans loved it the first time, but I thought it was way more corporate the second time. I don't think people had as much access to it. But that doesn't mean some people didn't enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed the notion of people, eyes on Utah in a positive way.
Yeah, I think it's in Phoenix next year, so you have the weather. Mm-hmm. Do the press conferences outside of the golf course. Do something. Something to accentuate the great weather that they have there in the winter.
Keep 16 set up there and take them over to the golf course.
Why not?
And let the fans come in. Do stuff for the fans. The more interactive they make it for the fans, the better. Everyone's paying the freight. And
right.
I think it'd be, how many, what do they get, like 20,000 at that hole now?
That stadium thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they came walking in that tunnel they have by the tee and they walked up the tee box and
we've all seen it.
And the 12-year-old you with Dad.
Yeah,
well, now the version now.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sitting up there.
I'm saying, are you kidding? I would have loved it.
Yeah. The first year they opened, it was just batting practice. Now they got home run derby. But the first time they opened the All-Star batting practice was when it was in San Diego in 1978, and the place went nuts. They couldn't believe how many people turned out. People just want a glimpse of them. The amount of hero worship going on in sports.
I think Mark Cuban has it. He nails it. It's about the fan experience. It's about your father, daughter, whatever it is.
Yep.
That's what
the
you'll
experience,
remember.
Making memories.
I don't remember anything about that All-Star game.
You remember sitting with your dad.
I remember.
And you remember asking him if you could go. And the answer could have been no. But the answer was yes. And it was like a jolt of adrenaline flowing through your body that stayed with you to this day.
Yes. And at halftime, I had to go to the bathroom, and because we were chugging down some hooch, and
that's why you're so short. Stunted your growth. Something you brewed out in the desert with a bunch of ne'er-do-well Sun Devil students.
Yeah.
As we create a narrative for something that didn't actually happen.
And so I'm walking around. I thought, I'm going to walk around by the court. They didn't have the security that they have today, right?
So you got to walk down the sideline or something?
I walked right down the first row behind the people sitting the first row.
So between like rows 1 and 2?
Yeah.
There's probably a little bonus space because at that point they were just getting savvy enough to move 1 row closer so they could charge more.
And I thought I'll just, and I think they had come back out and were warming up, just shooting random shots, and coming my way at a show that I never liked, but I was aware of it. And this is going back, coming my way, not Colonel Potter, the guy before him, McLean Stevenson.
No, nice.
And I said, hello, McLean. And he said, hi.
You're 12 and you called him by his first name.
I would have been 14.
14, okay.
Yeah. I remember he was coming this way. And we're
hello,
walking.
McLean.
Thought that was an appropriate greeting. And he just looked at me and he said, hello. He handled his stardom very, very well. And no big deal. I wasn't going to stop him and say, man, I hated, who was the one guy everybody hated on the show?
Frank Burns.
Frank, okay. Yeah, no, just hello, McLean. He said hi. He handled his stardom well. Unlike me yesterday, I was golfing down in St. George, and you pull up, they take your bag, what time, blah, blah, blah. He looks at the tee sheet, and he says, by any chance, are you related to Patrick Kinahan? I said, no. I said, Kinahan's a common name in Ireland.
And your wife wasn't there to scold you?
And then we went on our way. No, I said, yeah, that's me. Went in, got the clubs. Then, okay, what does he want to talk about? Because that's coming. And he said,
Jazz tanking or Richie Saunders?
Do you think BYU is going to win another basketball game?
No, Richie Saunders. Okay.
I said, yes, I do.
It was a toss-up. They were both good topics this weekend.
Like, I think they'll minimally win their first game in the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, that's the topic because it was this would have been Monday, so it was 2 days after the injury. But the announcement came yesterday, Sunday, right? The announcement came Sunday. I keep getting days off. Sunday that he was done, and obviously it was no surprise.
Anything else you want to tell the people about from this weekend? Anything else that happened? Oh, Adam Silver, tanking. Hey, every possible remedy, including taking away draft picks and doing away with the NBA draft and making rookie players free agents. It's all on the table.
Yeah, those are all
good things to talk about, but there's no way they're taking away the draft.
Spineless threats. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
The draft, I actually think, and I know the NFL goes nuts, but my favorite draft is the NBA draft.
A lot of people like to change the order of free agency in the draft. Do the free agency and then draft when you know more what your needs are. I've heard that said multiple times.
Oh, I think that's already done. You don't think there's back channels and everyone's waiting until it's legal at 9:01 or whatever concocted deadline they have or opening?
I think some of them are done and some of them aren't. I mean, some guys are more waiting to see how the pieces fall.
If I were the NBA,
the big dogs are done.
No, because that extends your publicity season. Because if you did it before, you'd be doing it, unless you move the draft back 3 weeks,
The NFL
you'd be doing it in the NBA Finals.
The NFL does free agency and then does the draft. So there's the NBA people thinking that to copy the NFL.
Well, but you'd have to move back the draft. Do we really want the draft to be in July?
Well, we got free agency in July now.
Right. But that is not a singular television event.
Yeah.
I think you would lose people. NBA Finals end, you're still on an NBA high, boom, draft. You got to think marketing. I'm surprised, then you're way more adept at that than I am.
Mike Trout will go back to center field. Over under on how many games Mike Trout plays. If I tell you 110, would you take the over or the under?
I would take the over, and counting playoffs, I'd say about 175.
Really? Got the Angels to finally built a team to go to the playoffs?
No, they're going to trade him to the Dodgers.
Okay, now you're talking. He plays 1 year at the end of his career with the Dodgers just so he can feel what it's like to win a postseason series.
Mikey Trout will be 35 because Bryce Harper will be 34 in October.
Well, the kids are all grown up.
Mike Trout, his birthday is, I want to say, August 6th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I know Harper's birthday is in October. He was born in October of 92. Saw him play as a youngster. I'm intimately familiar with the Bryce Harper story. When I'm talking 12 years old, and watched him as a teen long before he got into the bigs. But at that point, he had a big-time name, Sports Illustrated. I think he might have even been on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was a teen. He certainly had a big, fat story about him.
So you said he's 35 now, and he's going to turn 36?
No, I believe Mike Trout will turn 35.
Oh, he's 34, turning 35 this season.
August.
Okay.
And I'm 99.9% sure that Bryce Harper will turn 34 in October. Hopefully for him, it's during the season.
Mike is signed for 5 more years, counting this year. He may lose the 27 year, obviously. Tony Clark, head of the Baseball Players Union, out. Sounds like they're preparing for the lockout and/or strike. All right, that's it. That's what we've been talking about this morning. Your reaction next. Stay with us. Join Scotty G Wednesday from noon to 3 at Tim Dolly Nissan Southtown, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. 111 South, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. All right, your feedback. Question of the morning. Richie Saunders done for the season with an ACL injury. Are the Cougars done too? Lane, the season's done, and that sucks.
No, it's not. Man,
Jerome, they might make it to the tournament.
They're going to make it to the tournament.
Ugh. Yeah, they will make it to the tournament.
For no other reason that the NCAA wants AJ in the tournament.
Yep. And they're going to have a glorious record. Now, their seeding might change. They saw them projected as a 5. And if they go 4-4 here, and the team and the committee has a history, although the committee changes every year, but there's a history of if a team loses a player to a major injury, downgrading them. So, although I think the goal should still be Sweet 16, obviously when the brackets come out, if they put you in an 8-9 game and you're playing Michigan in the next round, yikes! But cross that bridge when you get to it. Right now, I think the goal should still be Sweet 16. And, John, they were a Sweet 16 team at best anyway. Donald, I'm looking for 3 more wins, maybe one in the conference tournament, but they're not going to the Sweet 16 unless 1 or 2 for the bench. Step up.
Yeah, well, he recruited these guys to play. He didn't there's no way, well, let's get this guy, but we're not really going to play him.
Nope. No, the goal always when you bring somebody in is he's going to play.
Yeah.
So, out of these, there's a group of 7 guys I think you can look at and say 3 or 4 of these guys need to deliver.
And is there any Kafusis on the football team? Maybe they could play.
Nice. I don't know if he knows about that.
The only 2 Kafusis currently on the football
Isaiah
roster.
Or Ace?
Ace and Micah are the 2 current.
This is where Chris Burgess has to step up because he's the one guy with the local knowledge. He's been in college ball. He knows
the
these
issue
stories.
with these Kafusis is they're not Bronson and Corbin, who were 6'8" and 6'11". They're both like 6'4".
Okay, but have him grow an afro.
Hey, Rick the Pick, man.
Add a couple inches right there.
6'4", but 6'7" with the afro. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Set a screen, hit a set shot. What do you want?
Bring some 300-pounder in. Hey, Tanavasa, have him line up at center.
Vernon's
They've got some offensive linemen that are 6'8" right now. I'm just saying.
Set a blind pick in the backcourt. Just knock another guy out.
Right.
When they get out of concussion protocol, the tournament will be over. Vernon, let's see how they respond to this major loss. No doubt they'll miss Richie, but sometimes the psychology of sports does crazy things. Hopefully it galvanizes the team and they'll play harder and inspired. Who knows? Go Cougs.
I think when Brandon Davies went down, nobody thought, or few people thought they would get to the Sweet 16. Especially then.
I remember there being even less time left in the season.
Oh, there was.
Yeah. Was there 1 week of regular season, maybe?
At best.
That, it feels like.
Maybe only one game.
Right on top of the end of the season.
Yeah. It was right before the conference tournament. Lyle, it's sad. Then all caps. Just sad. But, sometimes losing a key piece lights new fires as guys step up and new connections develop on the floor, emphasizing the new reality. I wish that guy well, though, because he was absolutely a great baller. Speaking of Richie Saunders.
Absolutely, yes.
Love to watch him see.
No one's going to deny that.
My last memory of him, well, it'll probably be the intro. I probably won't forget that. But I was going to say in that Baylor game, he was right in front of the bench, and he stripped a guy and took off 60 feet and beat everyone to the hoop for a bucket. It was just it was a combination of skill and heart.
And he has a lot of that, both.
Yeah.
I don't have any individual specifics, just simply how hard he played at all times.
DJ and PK, we're out of time. Jake and Ben are up next, and they're giving away Jazz tickets, so stick around on a Jazz Ticket Tuesday right here on The Zone.